Wow. This is really happening. Episode 1 of the Professional Winner Podcast. I am your host, your executive producer, your everything, Jonathan Conyers, a.k.a. the Professional Winner, a.k.a. Mr. TPW. I have somebody amazing with us today. Please, guys, we have to clap it up for the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Bobby Love. What's up, Bobby?
Hello, John. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I've been doing really great since you entered my life, you know?
All right. Thank you.
But Bobby, before we get into this amazing episode, in episode 1, I got to talk to my family, my friends. Guys, if you are confused why I'm saying episode 1, even though we have multiple episodes already on John Conyers Network YouTube page, those episodes were pre-episodes. If you are a part of my community, if you are a part of my Patreon, those were sent to special people who have been with us since day 1, and we was able to get their feedback, their thoughts about what we were creating. Some of the feedback we got was that maybe we should have interviews. Maybe there should be another guest. Definitely we have to work on mic quality. So as you can see, our setup is a little different today. Bobby has a mic in front of him. I have a mic in front of me. So officially today, this is episode 1. Everything else was pre-episode. And instead of not giving you guys that content, we wanted to show you guys that was our process. We wanted to be honest with you. We wanted to be vulnerable with you. So we gave you guys our trial and error runs. But this is the official first episode. It will go on YouTube. It will go on Facebook. But also, this will be the first episode posted on Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts. Wherever you listen to podcasts, we will be there temporarily until somebody give us some money. So, with that being said, you know how we starting this off. Bobby's like, what is he doing? Okay, Bobby, what's up? How you feeling today?
I'm feeling great. Outstanding.
So we got to talk about Bobby Love. If you know me, if you've been following my journey, you understand how important Bobby is to me. You understand what we just created, and we're going to elaborate on it. I know if you've been listening to a lot of his interviews, a lot of his podcasts, he was on the Today Show with Al Roker. You know, we see a lot of repetitiveness, right? We talk about Bobby escaping prison, Bobby jumping off the back of the bus. But today we're going to get into more detail. We're going to talk about how me and Bobby met, how we started this process, the Humans of New York journey, talking to celebrities like Morgan Freeman, Jason Bateman, talking about Bobby doing time in jail. How was that process, which a lot of people haven't talked about. So, Bobby, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Let's do it.
All right.
Bobby, let's start from day 1. When I called you OG in front of my building.
Okay. I was coming from, outside. And I wasn't familiar with John. I'd seen him, I think, a few times. And he called me OG. I didn't know him. He didn't know me. And he called me OG. And I wasn't feeling this OG name. I wasn't even familiar with what it meant at that time. So I walked on.
Bobby had no idea that I knew his whole life already. So let me break it down to you why I called you OG, which stands for Original Gangster. So during COVID, one day I'm walking from the train, right? I'm walking from NYU. I work out NYU. I left NYU. I'm now in Brooklyn. So I'm walking from the train. And it was a very depressing day for me. And the reason for that was I was about to close on this beautiful mansion in the Poconos. So I was excited. I was expanding my real estate business. And, I was talking to my wife. She found this house she was in love in. It was our dream home. But throughout that whole process, I was depressed. I was like, I don't want to drive an hour and a half or 2 hours to work to New York City every day. Like, I don't want to be in the mountains in the Poconos. I don't know nothing about Pennsylvania. The crime rate is too high here for black people. Everybody in jail. I don't want to be there. But the house was beautiful. It was something that we never thought in a million years that we can own something like that. So I went through the whole process. I spent this money. And then right before closing, I was like, nah, I can't do it. And I was walking there thinking about how I was going to tell Nicolette that we ain't doing this. She already done quit her job, gave her notice in. It was bad. And Richard, your son-in-law, Richard Nelson, sees me walking down the neighborhood. And he's like, hey, yo, can I talk to you? And you know me, my first thought was like, bro, get out my face. But I'm like, hey, what's up, man? What's up? He's like, yo, I see you walking around. I see you young. You own building. You got cars. We should talk. Chop it up, And I'm like, yeah, all right, cool. So I walk away. My first thought was like, I ain't never talking to him. But I walk away. And eventually, like I think a week later, Richard comes to me with a big bottle. He has a big bottle of Hennessy. He's like, look, you ready to hang? You know me, I'm not saying no to Hennessy. So I said, all right, open my door. 2 hours later, I think me and Richard, to say, is very, very intoxicated. And Richard says, you know Bobby, right? I said, yeah, OG. I don't think he liked me. I call him OG. He just keep walking past me. He's like, well, you know, that ain't his real name. So I bust out laughing. I'm like, man, what is this dude talking about? I said, man, you drunk, man. Just relax. And you know how them Harlem dudes gets. Man, you think I'm a liar, man? Why would I lie to you, man? You let me in your house. I'm not going to lie to you, man. And he goes and showed me the article of you in handcuffs and you being captured by the FBI. And I say, holy guacamole. I didn't really say that. I actually was cursing. And the next day I'm laying in bed and Nicolette was like, you've been quiet. You just been wondering your brain. She was like, what are you thinking about? I know you're thinking about some idea. And I showed her the article. She was like, the neighbor? I said, yes. Unbelievable, right? She said, John, what are you thinking? I said, I could make him rich. You know this. I said, I think I can make him famous. So Richard comes to me like a couple of days later. I said, hey, I sent the tweet out to Brandon Statton of Humans in New York. We had a whole conversation. He's ready to do the story. And Richard goes and says, I didn't talk to Bobby. I didn't talk to Bobby about it. I said, man, well, you got 2 days. I'm going to take Bobby out to dinner. We need to figure this out because Brandon is ready. And talk about the dinner, Bobby. Let's get to it. That's my spill. Talk about the dinner, your thoughts, and let's get straight into the Humans of New York and how that happened.
Richard came to me late that night after you had talked to him. He had had a few drinks. So I'm watching television. He's kind of sitting behind me. So he said, you know the guy John across the hall? I said, yeah. He said, well, he want to take us out to dinner. I said, what? Then he said, you know, I told him about your story. I said, you did what? He said, I told him about your story, you know, your arrests and everything like that back in, you know, the 70s, you know. I said, oh, he said, he wants to, you know, talk to you and tell you what he can do to help you with the book. Because I know you've been downstairs from time to time writing a book, you know. I said, yeah. He said, well, he's going to take us out to dinner. He said he got another guy that he want to bring up here that can help you and put you on the computer. I wasn't familiar with Humans of New York. You know, I hadn't read it. You know, I don't mess with the computer like that, you know. But anyway, John, he said to me, you going to go? So I said to myself, I thought to myself, yeah, what, you know, nothing to lose. Yeah, I'll go and check it out, you know. So then it came Thursday and he said, you know, get fancy, you know, put on a suit or something, you know.
That's easy for you.
So I said, well, I got to put on a suit. He said, come on, man, you're going to present yourself, man, you know, and you got to make it look good. So about, I don't know, it was about 7 something. I hadn't even started dressing, you know, but he said, John is going to, so John is still going to take us out because he hadn't said anything else about it in the next day or so before it was time to go. So I got dressed and sure enough, you was there at 8 o'clock and we left.
Yeah, I had a nice Cadillac, right?
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Well, I came correct.
Yeah. You had a nice big Uber, you know?
Yeah. It was an Uber. Yeah. It wasn't a car service. I don't got that much money.
Right.
But
yeah, he took us out to a place in Queens and he showed me other places where you have work to do and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, man, that was the start of it all. And now going to the Humans of New York process, it was like a couple of days after our meeting.
Right.
You met Brandon. He came to the house.
Right. Well, the next Thursday.
Yeah, next Thursday.
It was one Thursday. Then the next Thursday, that's when Brandon Stanton came. And looking at Brandon Stanton, you know, I'm like, wow, here's this Rich guy. Because Rich showed me something on the computer about Brandon Stanton.
Yeah.
You know, and I had never met him, didn't know anything about him. So Rich shows me, and I said, wow, he's like that. Well, he came into the house. First thing he did was take off his shoes. And like, okay, well, make yourself comfortable. He took off his shoes and sat in one of the seats. We had these 2 blue chairs. And he started talking, and he said, you've lived a fantastic life, man. Oh man, this story, man, is great. Your life and everything like that.
Now, before you finish that story, let's backtrack a little bit. Tell the viewers and the people who haven't read your book, who's right here,
right,
who don't know that you're about to have a TV show executive produced by Kerry Washington and Octavia Spencer, a little bit of who you are and why Brandon Statton of Humans of New York was interested in your story.
Well, it was the things that I've done in my past. It was the redemption also of how my life had turned from what I had been doing for so long. And, God came into my life. And when God came into my life, I just made a 100% transformation. I have 4 children, and I wanted to show my children something better than what I had been through. I'm so proud to say that none of my children has never been in trouble.
And when you say trouble, and I know the title of your book is The Redemption of Bobby Love.
Right.
When we talk about that term redemption, what did you redeem yourself from? What did you do that led to your redemption?
Oh man, I started going to church.
No. What did you do before you get to church, before you become this new man? What did you do, and what choices did you make to put you in a certain type of situation?
Well, I made a commitment to myself.
Okay.
That I was never going to get in any kind of trouble again.
And what trouble did you get into?
I didn't never get in any more trouble.
No, I'm talking about prior. Take it back. We talking about teenage Bobby.
Okay.
Bobby that was in these streets.
Okay, back in the day, back when I was growing up.
Yes, sir.
I went through the desegregation of the school. I had fights. I had a night where I called Sam Cooke some names because he walked off the stage. And
when you say desegregation of school, I'm assuming that you was living down south. You was born down south.
Yes, I was born down south, and living in the Jim Crow South. Oh man, it was tough. We had nothing that was really positive around us. I did go to community center because that was my babysitter, and my mother would pick us up from there, and we would walk home. But other than that, it wasn't too many opportunities to do anything. I like clothes. I like to dress. Like to go to concerts. Concerts were big then. They would have the big time Motown Review coming through. Some of the other artists, people like Wilson Pickett, those kind of people, and they would come in, and I would like to go to the show.
And you said Sam Cooke, so yeah. I'm assuming you went to a Sam Cooke show.
I went to a Sam Cooke show, and he told us after he sang one song, he said, "Sit down." He wanted all of us to sit down.
But why he want y'all to sit down? It's a concert.
That's right, man.
Y'all living. Y'all turning up.
I can understand that, man. And
Come on, Sam.
He said, if you don't sit down, I'm going to walk off the stage. So he started the second song. And I guess maybe 3-4 bars he sang of the song. The band was hot and playing.
Okay.
He dropped the mic and walked off the back. And we was like, what? We didn't really believe that he wasn't going to come back.
How old was you at this concert?
I was 14.
14? Oh, you was living.
14, yes. I was 14. But I looked a lot older. I had a lot of hair. I had sunglasses. I was tall.
So you trying to say you was that guy?
In some girls' eyes, yes.
Okay, Bobby was that guy.
I talked to older ladies, and I really got a good response from older ladies.
Miss Cheryl, I did not tell him to say any of this. Now, when Sam Cooke walked off that stage, how did it make you feel? What was your reaction?
Oh man, I was very upset. Very upset.
And what you do?
I cursed at him.
It's an open space. What you say? Tell the fans.
I said Sam Cooke ain't shit.
Ooh.
And
that's Sam Cooke.
Before I knew it, this guard had grabbed me and told me I was under arrest for disorderly conduct.
Now, was that your first time ever being under arrest?
That was my very first time.
Wow. Now explain that experience. Continue the story. What happened that night?
Okay, that night they held me in this room for so long. And I guess after the Coliseum, most of the people were gone. And they felt that everything was secure like it should be, as the Coliseum was, people were going out and everything. I would get in a car with the guy it was a detective now. The policeman in a uniform was the first one to grab me. So he told the detective. So the detective took me home. And he told me I had a date to come back to court at some time. And I just totally ignored that. And I didn't meet that court date. One day I'm in school and they called me to the office, and I came down to the office and here's that same detective. And he asked me, why didn't you come to your court date? Did you tell your mother? And I said, no. So he took me out of school and brought me home that day. Met my mother and told my mother everything about what had happened, at the concert and stuff like that. And of course, my mother looked at me and said, well, he never told me anything. And that's all she could say about it.
Well, you was 14. Did your mom even know you was going to the concert?
No.
How you get around that? How you sneak around mama?
My mother worked. So that day of the concert, I got myself, clothes I was going to wear and everything like that. I came home from school and I just cut out and got to the Coliseum. I went to a friend's house and we went to the concert together.
Now, when you got in that trouble, did your mom call your dad or anything of that nature?
No, my father had already passed.
I'm sorry to hear that. All right, so let's backtrack. Let's talk a little bit about your father, because you're 14, you're going to concerts. Apparently, you snuck out to the concert. Your mom is a single mother at this time,
right? Raising
how many kids?
Well, it was 8 of us.
8 of us,
but only 4 of us was at home.
So the other ones were older already.
Yeah, they were older and they was out on their own.
Now let's backtrack. All right, so your dad is no longer alive. Can you talk a little bit about your dad and that experience and when you lost your dad?
My father was, my mother said he was mean. My opinion, yes, my father was not the kindest person. He did not like my older brothers and sisters. He was the one that fathered 3 children with my mother.
Okay.
So when my sister had a baby at a very young age and my mother had my last brother, they were only 5 days apart in the hospital. So me being about a 4 or 5-year-old kid at that time, when I saw my mother come in with these 2 babies, I said, wow, I got 2 brothers, not knowing that I had a nephew and a brother. So anyway, I would just, enjoy my father as much as I could, but my father drank. When he started drinking, he was a different person. And I would, see things I didn't like. That there was times he would hit my mother right in front of me. My mother would tell us to get out of the room. And it came to a point where one of my brothers saw my father hit my mother. And I think this was the turning point that my brother told my father, if you hit my mother again, I'm going to kill you. A few weeks later, my father said he was moving out. He didn't move that far away, but he moved out. So now, it's still that we can go visit my father, and sometime on weekends we can stay with my father. He didn't have a problem with that. And my father, like I said, he drank and he smoked, and there was times he would go to bed and have a cigarette in his hand and he'd fall asleep. Cigarette is still burning, And he had an old wood stove. We used to go out and find wood and we would put it in this stove, that he cooked on. And the wood sometimes would be outside of the thing where you close, the door where you close the wood in the stove. So I assume that's maybe what happened the night that he died and perished in a fire.
So how old was you when your dad died in the fire?
I was 9 years old at that time.
Do you think, well, obviously, right, that's your dad, so it took a toll on you. Did it change how you view life? Did it change your mental? I know you're 9 years old, you're still a kid at this point. But how was that on your mom? How was that on you?
Well, my mother has some choice words to say about how he left things. My father had a very good job. He worked for a steel company. He had these boots, man, that had steel in the toe of them. I just wanted to say that. Yeah. And there was times where I would take his shoes off for him, and I said, Daddy, I want you to buy me a pair of these. I like these, But anyway, he would leave everything to my sister. My father's thinking was girls have it harder than boys. So he felt like myself and my younger brother, Melvin, we can make it. We can do things to make money. Whereas a girl, a little bit harder. So he left everything to my sister. So now my mother has to get a lawyer to kind of get through all the red tape of all this. She got to go in front of a judge. Yeah. She got to ask for, I have children, the mercy of the court concerning, that we needed the monies now, not when my sister turns 18. So my mother felt like with him leaving this like this, now I got to pay more money to get all this done. Court costs and the lawyer and stuff like that.
So now you're losing money when y'all should be enjoying the pension.
Of course.
Okay, I got you.
But we did start getting a Social Security, myself and my sister and my brother. My sister would get it until she's 18, and I would get it till I was 18. But if I was to continue to go to school, I would have probably continued to get it. But by that time, I had gone to Washington, D.C.
Okay.
And my mother just had my youngest brother.
Okay. That's a lot, man.
Yes, it is.
That's a lot to carry on in such a young age. So now that we got that out the way, let's go back. So
I just want to say one thing. I can remember I had a bicycle. We got a bicycle. We had the best Christmas that we've ever had the first year he had passed. Okay.
And why is that?
Because my mother was able to get this money, from his death. And my mother had me paying, she gave me the money, but I would have to go pay bills for my mother. I would get on my bicycle. I would pay the light bill. I would pay the water bill. I would go down to Miss Alexander's office. She was the lawyer at the time. I would pay her, pay Mr. Brown. He was the funeral home director. I remember one lady asking me, "How old are you?" I said, 9. "You're 9 years old and you came all the way from there on your bicycle?" I said, "Yes." Wow. That was kind of a strange thing to be doing. They felt a 9-year-old was doing. But
so you had a lot of responsibility.
Yes. My mother started putting a lot of responsibilities on me. I had a sister, and I don't know why she couldn't do it, but...
Which sister is this, Irma or Jean?
No, this is my oldest sister. Her name was Mildred.
Okay. All right.
And but my mother would tell me to do it.
You was the boy. You was her son.
Yes.
Understood. All right. So now let's backtrack a little bit. So now you curse Sam Cooke out. That's why you gonna do that? That's Sam Cooke, Bobby. Come on.
I love the man too.
So you curse Sam.
I paid my money to see him.
That's true.
And I expected to see a concert.
Understood. Well, you cursed at Sam Cooke. You got in trouble. Now your mother knows. Now, are you nervous? You in trouble? Now you on parole. First time ever being on parole because you ain't show up to court. What happens after that? You start being a good kid? You going to school every day?
Well, I was going to school, but things picked up in the way of getting in trouble. I was stealing. I was a thief. And I would sometimes go in people's cars, see a wallet in there, go in there and get the wallet. Sometimes I would go in people's mailboxes. I was a thief.
Okay. So, what was the next time you got in trouble? Because you're stealing at this point.
Yes,
You're on parole. You're still stealing.
Yes.
Did you get caught while you was on parole?
Yes, I did.
Okay, explain that to me.
Yes, I did. Well, I went in the band room, and in the band room they had guys used to take their clothes and they used to, okay, I'm playing an instrument. It's still warm out, and some guys would take off their regular pants and they would wear their gym shorts, as they played in the band,
Okay.
And the band was, quite a few kids in the band. I would say at least 45 to 50 kids in the band. trombones, trumpets, saxophones, clarinets, the whole nine. And they would leave their clothes on their locker, but they wouldn't lock the locker. Or sometimes they would leave the locker wide open, So I went in there one day and got over about $70, $60,
And what year is this?
This was 65.
Ooh, so you got some money now. You got some money at this point. Okay, Bobby. Now what happens next after that?
I came back the next day and I got busted.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you got busted.
Yeah.
And what happened after you got busted?
Well,
Bobby?
let me go back. You say what happened after that. I'm wrong because I got through out of school in the 9th grade.
Okay.
I came into my classroom after playing basketball. I was late. We had a teacher. She was a little older lady. And when I got in my seat, somebody said, Cottonfoot. I don't know who said it, but I turned around.
Hold on. We're not going to just skip past that. Who's Cottonfoot?
Bat.
Yo, what's good?
That's that crypto gold, baby. You ever heard of it?
Nah, what's that?
Well, let me tell you, man. You got to go to lazy.com/jconyers or rarible.com/legendary crypto goat.
Hey guys, I hope you go to OpenSea, Rarible, or you can look at my lazy.com and purchase the professional winner goat, aka #crypto goat. Now let's get back to it. Bobby Love. Sorry, he's no longer Bobby Love. He is Cottonfoot. Please explain this to me, Cottonfoot.
Okay, Cottonfoot came about when I stepped on a nail.
What? This sounds like some real down south 1960. You should have had them steel boots. See, that's the problem. You were supposed to get them steel boots from Dad.
I was going to my football game over at the community center.
Okay.
And we were late and we were running to try to get there. And lo and behold, I stepped in on this piece of wood and it punctured my sneaker and came through and hit my foot. Okay. I went on, I played the football game. We lost. We really got beat up pretty bad. I played quarterback. And, it was like the coach would send me in and I would run the ball. His son played quarterback also. So he would do the passing.
So you trying to tell me you can't throw?
No, it wasn't that. it was they knew what we were going to do each time.
So, but that's interesting though, and here's why. I thought you played basketball. And the reason why I'm saying that is because, disclaimer, I'm always honest with my fans and my friends. I talked to Bob McAdoo a couple of days ago. If you don't know who Bob McAdoo is, there's a site called Google. Google him. Bob McAdoo was talking, and he kept referring to you as Cottonfoot.
Yes.
And I'm like, who's Cottonfoot? And also, another disclaimer, congratulations, Bob McAdoo, on being named NBA top 75 players and being, I was at the Garden the day they celebrated him. He was one of the last people to win a championship for the Knicks. Do not try to calculate his age because we know the Knicks won a championship 100 years ago. But let's clap it up for Bob McAdoo. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we're going to give Bob McAdoo an air horn. Okay. So let's get to it. You and Bob McAdoo grew up together. Y'all was friends.
Yes.
He was one of the people that always called you Cottonfoot, right?
Well, the name Cottonfoot came from a kid named Reggie Hall.
Oh, I thought you was about to say Reggie Miller. I was about to say, man, who don't you know, Bobby?
After I stepped on the nail, I couldn't go to school because I couldn't walk. But I would hop up to the front of my house and I would go out and sit on the front porch. And so some of the guys came past my house one day and they saw my foot wrapped in fatback meat.
Hold on.
A penny.
What doctor did this?
My mother.
Okay.
I couldn't afford to go to the doctor.
Understood. Let's clap it up for Mama with the fat back, though. We got to clap it up for Mama. You survived. You still got your feet. So Mama did something right. Mama did something right.
Yes, she did.
Okay.
She did. And the last part she put on it was cotton all around my foot. Okay. She had these, cotton. had the big roll of cotton that you could put on, not the balls, but you could wrap it around your foot. So she wrapped it around my foot. So when the guys saw me sitting there and my foot was elevated, keep it elevated so it wouldn't swell no more, So one of the guys, his name was Reggie Hall, he looked at my foot and he said, "What's all of that?" And so I told him what was, on my foot and everything like that. He said, "Man, we're going to call you Cottonfoot from now on." That was the story, and it stuck.
That was the story.
Yeah.
So let's go back to this Bob McAdoo, man. Won a couple of championships.
Yes,
NBA legend, top
Yes,
75 players ever.
Right.
Come on, Bob. You got to be honest with me. Were you better than him in basketball?
At the time, yes.
Oh, Bob.
At that time.
Mr. McAdoo, did you hear that?
McAdoo became McAdoo after he went to Vincennes. Then he went to North Carolina, the University of North Carolina. But we used to play sandlot ball, man, and I would get the best of them most of the time. We played football down at Bimbo Park. And God forbid, how you play tackle football, man. It had nice grass and everything like that. You tackle a person. And there was times he said I would try to hurt him,
Yeah, he knew he had a career, man. Why you trying to hurt Bob McAdoo?
I wasn't trying to hurt him.
Thank God he didn't hurt Bob McAdoo,
We were just playing,
So since you're talking all of this mess, we're going to have to call Gabe, man. We're going to have to get you and Bob McAdoo to play one-on-one.
Oh, man. Now?
2000. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Y'all can put y'all sweats and y'all bootstraps on.
Oh, he was probably... He probably do the work on me now.
Yeah, he might dunk on you, man.
Yeah.
I know he older now, but he probably still could dunk.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. All right, so let's reel it back in. All right. So let's get back to, you say you were still stealing.
Yeah.
You was on parole at this point.
Right.
You was at the band. You were stealing from people's lockers in the gym.
Yes.
Did you get caught doing that?
Yes, I did. I got caught. Like I said, I got about $60, $70 one day. I came back the next day and they had a police officer, plainclothes police officer in the closet. And I would get some money from some of the people again. And, went in their pockets, went in their lockers. And as I was going out the door, he said, "Hold it, you're under arrest." And he stopped me and took me to the office. And, they had a little conference and I was sitting out there. And after that, they drove me home and told my mother everything that had happened. So
okay,
that was the start of my parole. Now I got two charges against me. The incident with Sam Cooke, and now I've been caught stealing. So then it was the third incident, and that was the one that took me to Morrison Training School.
Oh, so before the bigger sentence, which we're going to get into, you was in a training school, which was like a juvenile center.
Yes.
Okay, and how old was you at this time?
14.
So you did a lot at 14.
Yeah.
I thought this was like a 2-year story. This is all in 12 months.
My birthday was in November, so
you had a busy 14.
I went from 13 to 14 with a lot of different troubles.
Okay. So now you're in Morrison Training School. So this is your first time ever being technically an inmate, right?
Yes.
Even though it's a juvenile center.
Yes.
So break that down to me. How was that?
It was horrible. Fights. Guys test you, man. They want to see what you about, see if you can deal with, what you're trying to just do your time and go home. And at that time, a lot of us, we had no real education, no really, we didn't want to think about no therapy and, sitting down, talking and stuff like that. It was fight first and then it was protect yourself, fight, and then maybe later on you might talk to somebody or something like that.
Okay. So you were sentenced to how long at the Morrison Training School, and how did you finish out your sentence?
I didn't.
Oh, you got released?
No. I escaped.
At 14?
At 14.
Oh, you got to explain this to the fans, man. How did you do that?
My mother came to see me. She brought my oldest sister, and I think it was a couple of my nephews, one of my nephews and my youngest brother. It's about 5 of them that came to visit me right there before Christmas. It was the month of December. I think it was early in December. So they came to visit me and they stayed that whole day. It was on a Sunday, They had drove from Greensboro here to Morrison. So they gave me some money. Instead of turning the money in, I kept it in my pocket, and they also paid you $1, for working you did at the Morrison Training School. I used to clean up the administration building. So that was my job. And then from there, I went to school, So from there, I said, man, I got to get out of here. I had a fight that day. I had a fight practically every day. It was some kind of fight. And if not a fight, somebody would hit you. And, now you can let somebody hit you and then you don't do nothing in front of the administrative people, or then you maybe come back to the dormitory and let's take this in the shower and, get this resolved, That's the way it was back then, So I think I'd had a fight but I'm paying attention to my surroundings. You got one guard working at night, You got two big old dormitories on this side, you got two big old dormitories on that side, You got about 8 buildings like this, and the office is in the middle, They had a man, the round punch clock.
You hold on, you sound like me right now. You got to see my episode when I say 40 times. I know we got to get a shirt. Let's go. Get back to it, Bobby.
they have the punch clock.
Okay.
So I realized that the punch clock guy, he comes around every hour. Okay.
Oh, you are calculated.
You got one guy that does his rounds on the weekdays. You got one guy. Okay. On the weekends, it's more, a lot of more activities because you got visiting and stuff like that. And sometimes we have entertainment come in, maybe some girls would come and sing, or they would have, all kinds of stuff, giving us stuff, and the, the prison people, the church people. They would come in and, people would come to church, But anyway, as I paid attention to what was going on, and then I started hearing this train whistle. Ooh, like, wow, where's that train coming from, So that gave me ideas, So now my thinking is this. I'm going to go out that back door and I'm going to run up that hill as far as I can, the way I came in, and I'm going to find that railroad track. I'm going to walk that railroad track to that next city. And that's what I did.
And you were successful? I
was successful.
Did they ever find you?
Not at that time, no.
Okay. So when you got on the train, where did you go?
I didn't get on the train. I got to the next city and got on the bus.
Okay.
And I went back to Greensboro. In Greensboro, I saw some of my friends. Like an idiot, I went near the school. Gillespie. I was across the street from the school and some of the kids, or one of the kids saw me and he said, yeah, man, the cops was looking for you. They came over here to the school. They came up to your house. That's all I needed to know. I got on the city bus and I went out to a friend of mine's house. He bought me a ticket, came with me to the bus station, and I got a bus to Washington, D.C. That's when I lived with my brother.
Okay, so you had a brother living in Washington, D.C. at this time?
Yes.
Okay. So, at 14, you escaped?
Yes.
So, now, tell me about Washington, D.C. That's an amazing place.
Yes.
Amazing place. Tell me about it. How was it being there with your older brother? Did he know you escaped? Did you be honest with him?
Oh, yeah.
He a real one.
Well, my brother felt like this. He said, you might as well stay here, He said, being a juvenile, that you are, they're going to sponge your record once you turn 18 or, whatever age they do that, So that was his belief at that time. My brother was a Muslim, and, Muslims at that time, they were strong against any kind of, arrests, any kind of things that, involve police, So he was going to Howard University. He was taking a couple of classes at the time at Howard. So we got along great until I stole his car one night.
So you didn't learn nothing from being at the work. You still like to steal?
No, I didn't. I didn't learn nothing from that. And once I stole his car, his wife said, "Buddy got to go." That's what they called me, Buddy.
Yeah.
So his wife, Marie, said, Buddy got to go. She had 3 sons, and they didn't want me influencing them and the things that I'm doing. They don't want that to rub off on them.
So how does your mother feel about you escaping and going to D.C.?
My mother felt that she didn't really tell me anything, but she just told me that talk to God, pray to God, I'm praying for you, when I would talk to her and stuff like that, and she told me to find a church and start going to church,
Okay, so now you done stole your brother's car.
Yeah.
You're older now. You don't got nowhere to go, so you're going back to Greensboro?
Nope. I went to live with my sister in Northeast Washington, D.C.
Oh, so you staying in D.C.?
Yeah, I'm staying in D.C. And when I went to live with my sister, so I wasn't going to school when I was living with my brother. My sister said, "You're going to school."
Okay.
So I started going to school when I started living with her, I went to Spingarn. That was a school where Dave Bing had gone. You ever heard of him?
No.
He was a basketball player. And Roberta Flack had gone to school there. They wasn't there now, but they had gone to the school. But I left that school, went to Easton, then I left Easton and went to McKinley.
You went to a lot of schools?
Yeah, I went to 3 different schools.
Were you still in all them schools?
It was a little different now. I had a job.
Okay.
I started working at McDonald's.
Okay.
And I can remember meeting the Billy Stewart that became the singer that he became. The man was down and out, and he was sleeping at a entrance to a apartment building.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a story.
Yeah. And, he was a big guy, He made this song called Fat Boy. I went to see him perform.
Why he making songs about me? I ain't do nothing to that, man.
I went to see him
I ain't do nothing to that, man, Bobby. All right.
I went to see him perform at the Howard Theater. And I said, that's the guy. That's that guy sleeping in the, But now, man, he done, some record company, man, done, say, hey, man, let's put this on records,
Changed his life.
Yeah, it changed his life.
So now, are you on a straight and narrow path now that you at your sister in Northeast DC?
Well, pretty much for a minute.
Oh, yo, here, this is your space, man. This is your show today. Oh, give it to us. What you mean for a minute? Break it down to me.
Okay, I got into it. Okay, I had 2 jobs at one time and was going to school. I was going to McKinley Tech. I was working at a place called Clancy's. Plus, the president, Nixon, had a program where you could work 20 hours a week, provided that your credits and stuff like that was good and you was on a pace to graduate on time and stuff like that. So I got a job and I wanted to work at the...
Hold on. We can't just go over that. What you working for President Nixon?
No, I'm not working for him. He had a program.
So what's this program is that?
This program was a program that you could work 20 hours a week.
Where you working at though?
I went to work. They sent me. It's a government program. They sent me to the Pentagon.
So you robbing and working in the Pentagon?
No, I'm not.
Oh,
I'm not
man,
robbing.
you crazy.
I'm not robbing.
Oh, you not robbing. Oh, I'm about to say you gangster.
No, I'm
I'm
not.
about to say I know you can't rob on Sunday and then go out to the Pentagon on Monday.
No.
All right. Okay.
I work for some real nice people.
Okay. So you're on a straight and narrow path.
Yes, I'm on the straight and narrow.
Okay. So what changed that? Bring that to me. What changed that? How did you get back into crime?
Okay, I worked at the Pentagon and I worked at a place called Clancy's, a topless bar.
Okay. How old are you at this age?
I done turned, 16? 17?
And they allowed you to work at a topless bar?
They didn't know that at my age.
You had a fake ID?
No, I didn't have any ID. See, you can in DC back then, you could go downtown to F Street and they had these places that you could buy a job. So I went to this place and I bought me a job. What they do is they send you to this job. So they sent me to Clancy's. My first 2 paychecks buys the job for me. So I don't even see those paychecks, but they get them. The people that sent me there to Clancy's to work. After that, I'm making my money on my own,
Okay.
So I worked at Clancy's and then I started working at I worked at the Pentagon first, then I got hooked up with Clancy's, you know. And I would work from 6 in the evening to 2 o'clock in the morning. I would clean up, you know, and sometimes I would help out the cook if, you know, it got real busy. They used to sell a pitcher of beer for 5 cents at that time during the weekdays, you know. So we had a lot of college kids.
What happened? That was God. Keep going, man. Don't worry.
We had a lot of college kids coming in there to, you know, they would sit, and like I said, it was a topless bar, you know, and sometimes they would throw money at the ladies and stuff like that. Was, you know, dancers. Okay. So the dancers, they had 3 dancers. One would dance for 15 minutes, and then another one come up and dance for 15 minutes, then another one. So they would all work about 6 or 7 hours during the time, you know. And that's what it, you know, the place was packed practically every night.
So the Pentagon to a topless bar. That's crazy.
Yeah, I worked them both at the same time.
So when was it that you stopped working at these places and you said, you know what? I'm going back and off this straight and narrow path. I'm not going to school no more. I'm going to go back into crime.
We were hustling in the bar. We would sell fake jewelry. We would sell these sweatshirts. They looked like it was leather, but it wasn't, you know. We would sell those for $75, you know. We sold some fake jewelry, man. If I think about $125, you know. I had a partner then, and we used to get this stuff, man, and, you know, you could go to any of those, you know, BS stores, man, and you can buy this stuff and sell it to people in there, you know. I got a gun from a guy that worked there. Okay, he was.
Were you looking for a gun, or
he was a bouncer? Happened? He was a bouncer, but I knew guys that was doing what they were doing.
Oh, but were you looking for a gun, or he just happened to offer it to you?
Well, I said to him, I want to get a piece.
Why?
Because I was thinking about, and my thoughts was to hook up with some people that I knew that was doing what they were doing.
So here's my question to you. You got 2 jobs, stable home. You know, you're in school, you're doing good. What made you want to go into that route?
You know, we had visions of being gangsters.
Okay.
It was 6 of us that used to hang out together. And
can you name the 6 or any of them on jail? I don't want to mess up nobody's cases. They all free?
One of them is, one guy passed that was part of my group.
Okay.
And the rest of them are still around in various places.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really that you needed in something. It was just the idea, the concept of being a gangster.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And that's what put the adrenaline in you.
Okay, I saw some of the same guys, you know, they would go out and make some money.
How they were making that money?
They were robbing.
So you wanted to join that group?
I like to, you know, they made it sound so cool that they did it, got away with it, and the money that they got, you know, I mean, you see them then after that, they done hooked up, you know, wearing big time orange leather coat, you know, and alligator shoes, man, you know. And
I know fashion is one of your passions, right?
Yes.
So you see them change, you see the alligator shoes, you like, I got to get that.
Yes, I did. I got some blue alligators. I had me a blue wraparound leather coat.
Okay. And you know, I'm guessing you tall, you young, you in shape. The ladies like the bad boy?
Oh, yes.
Okay. I get it. So that's where you was at mentally at that time. Young kid, Jim Crow. Well, this time you're in D.C. I guess not the South, right?
Well, so first I did something stupid, tried to steal some pants. One Saturday morning, I just got up and went downtown. And, you know, I knew people that you could bundle up clothes and put them on their arms and go out the store, you know. I tried to do that and got busted at the door.
And what did that lead to?
That led to me getting on probation, being put on probation.
Again.
And my sister, she said, you do something like this again, you out of here.
Oh, man.
Yeah, my sister was very upset with me about that.
So let's go into, you got this piece. So if you're asking for a piece, I'm assuming you want to use it, correct?
Yeah.
Tell me the first time you used that piece.
We went uptown to a Safeway.
And this is you and your crew of 6?
Yeah. No. These was altogether different guys. It was four of us, me being one of the four.
Okay, you're going to Safeway, I'm guessing, to stick it up.
Rob it, yeah.
Okay, now explain that to me. Explain that story.
Okay, we went into Safeway, and actually the guy that was kind of the leader of the group, he's a doctor in California now.
Shout out to him. Hold on.
Yes.
Safeway robber turned doctor?
Yes.
What type of doctor is he? Hold on. Gotta clap it up for him. Hey, man. Sometimes it's not about how you start. It's about how you finish, right?
Yeah.
So to know that he turned his life around and that he's in a better space, kudos to him, man.
Right.
Kudos to him. So, hey, man, I'm not mad at it.
If you maybe one day you Google Antoine or Anton Burton. That's his name.
Antoine Burton, congratulations to you, brother.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna judge you on your start, but you are a doctor.
Right.
Congratulations, man. All right, so Antoine, the doctor now.
Yeah, so we go into Safeway, and if I remember, you go in, and I'm on the left-hand side, so I went on that side, and I'm looking down the registers, and we got one guy. We're just hitting the registers. We're not trying to go up there in that whatchamacallit up there where they, to have the guys up there counting money and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
But we just grabbed the registers, And we was out of there, man, in about, it was less than 5 minutes, man. And
quick.
Yes.
How much you made?
Now this is the strange part. We came back to Anton's house. Him and his wife, him and his woman.
Antoine got to pay for medical school now. So
she wasn't one of the ones that robbed, But we sit down right there, and all the money is dumped on the table. She got like a round table like that. So we sitting there, and it's like me, Antoine, this guy named, I think his name was Jerry, and another guy, and her. She got a cut as well. And we're like, wow, she wasn't with us. Well, we at her house. She gets
they doubled y'all. She put taxes on y'all.
So we got like over a couple of $1,000 that night,
And you what, 16 at this time?
Yeah.
So you see it easy, and you've been working at the Pentagon.
Yeah.
You working at Clancy's.
Yes.
You see $1,000 that fast in 5 minutes?
From those two jobs?
Yeah.
No.
So now you motivated.
Pretty much, because now.
And it felt easy to you.
Yes.
Now, I know you probably did a couple of more robberies, right? I'm assuming.
Yeah.
When did it go wrong?
Well, it went wrong in 1969.
Break it down to me, man. Talk.
Okay, we talked about going over here, hitting this pharmacy in Southeast Washington, D.C.
Come on, man. Pharmacy, we trying to save people. You're not working medicine. Why are you doing that, Bob?
We had ideas of this.
Okay.
This is inauguration.
Who inauguration?
Night. Nixon's inauguration.
You gonna rob on Nixon inauguration?
Because it was Nixon, because we felt everybody would be in D.C. around the, Capitol and the White House and stuff like that. There wouldn't be that many cops over here in Southeast Washington, D.C., especially around this pharmacy area. This is a big pharmacy, So we went in there that night, and lo and behold, I had the money. I had my piece. I came out of there. Now, the cops is already in the parking lot. The parking lot is right here in front of the place where, cars are parked.
Okay.
So I'm walking between two cars. I got my piece, and I'm looking this way. A cop shot me from the back, and he hit me in my buttocks, and it came out down here.
Wow. So you were shot in the booty.
Yeah. Next thing I know, man, I was in the hospital. So I'm very arrogant, nasty, cursing. So I'm like, why'd you shoot me? Who shot me? Who shot me? What did I do?
What you mean what you did? You was robbing the store. You had to get shot, Bobby.
So I got shot. I went to the hospital. And I'm still being arrogant and nasty and mean and telling these people, y'all not doing nothing to me. Let me out of here. Take that handcuff off me, because they had one handcuff on the bed and they put it on the rack and stuff.
Okay.
And so I'm still being nasty. And after a while, they said they were going to shave me. So I said, what you going to shave me for? Oh, you got to go to surgery. I said, the bullet went through me, so why you going to shave me? What you going to do? Operate? I don't want nobody cutting on me, And so as the night went on, they took me in there, two brothers. They shaved my chest and everything like that, shaved my hair and everything like that. So now I'm in another room, and here's this priest. He says, son, what religion are you? And I'm telling him, man, why? What you want? Why are you asking me that? Am I going to die? Acting stupid,
That is a crazy story, Bobby.
Well, it happened. I'm sorry, it happened.
Ladies and gentlemen, The Redemption of Bobby Love is out in stores now. Everywhere books are sold, baby. Go get you a copy now and give it to your loved ones for Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you do or you don't celebrate. Just get the book and celebrate the writing. May you have a happy new year and a Merry Christmas, or a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. In whatever order you want to celebrate, let's just celebrate. Celebration. That's all.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the brief break. You see, The Redemption of Bobby Love is in stores now. You can find it anywhere that books is sold, and I mean anywhere. Okay? The Redemption of Bobby Love, written by Bobby and Cheryl Love with Lori Tharps. We have it back up. It looks beautiful. If it drops again, that's just fate saying that you need to buy it. Okay? It was just recently named Amazon's one of the top editorial picks. So, Bobby, let's get back to it.
Okay, at the Pentagon.
We going to the Pentagon? Okay.
Yes. I worked for a lady named Miss Colleen McAvoy. And the lady at that time, you could smoke in the building.
In the Pentagon?
In the Pentagon.
Cigarettes?
And my job mostly was going and picking up files. They had a big old warehouse, man. It was huge. And, they would write the file that they was looking for on a piece of paper, and I would go in there and I would give it to the people. Sometimes they would tell me to get it because they had those ladders that you could push, on the with the little wheels on them at the top, And they said, well, that file is up there. You got to go get it. I'm not going up there getting it, especially if it was a woman working in the Pentagon, or working in the file room. So that was my job mostly, But I got to see Lyndon Johnson. I worked for MISD, Assistant Vice Chief of Staff, and it was an all right job. I used to pass out all the checks, okay?
Now, let me ask you a question. Why you ain't still one of them checks? Because I know they were big.
I got a few of them.
Oh, Pentagon.
See, in the Pentagon...
They can't come, hold on. What's that law called where they can't come back? It's too late. They can't come back and arrest Bobby. It's over. You know what I'm saying? You got. Well, Bobby stole some of y'all Pentagon checks. It's over.
Expired.
Yeah, it's expired.
Yeah. But at that time, you could go they had a bank in there. And I would take, Miss McAvoy would tell me to take her check up there, get it cashed, and they put the money back in the envelope. I would do that for her, And there was checks sometime that was left. And I would go up there and get this check cash, man, and going on home.
You are brave. I ain't stealing no checks for nobody who work in the Pentagon. They gonna bury you under the jail. So let's go back into the other story. I know we switched gears a little bit. So now you got shot in the butt.
Yeah.
You're in the hospital.
Right.
They're about to put you in surgery. Why are they taking, you said the bullet went through. Why are you going to surgery?
Well, I was told that there might be some gangrene on the bullet.
Okay.
And the bullet, that would kill me eventually, And so they did exploratory surgery on me. And guy was putting this thing over my nose, taking it off, putting this thing on my nose, taking it off, and finally, I was out. Next thing I woke up, I had IVs in both arms. I had a hole in my chest. And I was just laying there and I'm looking around and man, what the hell happened? What did y'all do to me, you know? And I'm in the ICU. And the guy next to me had been shot. He had a shotgun wound or something also. So
Shotgun?
We talked for a minute. You know, I'm not sure what he did, but he was in very bad shape, you know. And I talked to him, and next thing I know, all the lights started going out, you know, lights started flickering. It was a code blue. At this time, I'm not aware of what code blue is, you know, and the code blue was for the guy next to me.
I'm very aware of what code blue means, and it ain't fun.
Right. So they pulled the curtains, and doctors went in there. All these people went in there. Then they just came out one by one. And I said, is he all right? She said, no, we lost him. I said, you did what? She said, we lost him. I said, that guy's dead? She said, yeah. I said, oh my God.
That's tough.
And that made me start thinking about me.
So now you like, I got gangrene everywhere. I'm about to go.
I got to stop this BS, man, because this is serious. This is not a joke, you know?
I know you're in the hospital. Right. I know they did surgery, but I know they didn't just let you go home. You just robbed the pharmacy.
No, they didn't let me go home.
So where did they send you after you was healed?
Well, let me say this. I stayed in ICU for about 5 to 6 days.
Okay.
The best lady that worked in there was a lady named Miss Smith at night.
Okay.
She would come in there and she'd say, you in pain? I said, yeah. And she'd give me a shot of Demerol.
Oh, she had you tweaking.
Oh, man. She was great.
Hold on. Name the drug again. Name it again. What's the drug?
Demerol.
Oh, let's get it.
Yes,
oh,
yes.
So you was in paradise.
Yes.
You thought you was free.
Oh, man. She was the best, man. But them nurses in the daytime, man, they were mean, man, you know?
Yeah.
So after 3 days or 4 days, they told me, you got to get up and start walking. And I'm like, you know, my leg's not feeling right, you know? And you know how your muscles kind of retract when you lay down and you don't get up and move your legs? So they took me to x-ray and they said, there's nothing wrong with his legs, you know? This nurse put me in a wheelchair, black nurse. She put me in a wheelchair and she told the guard that he's going to walk. Sure enough, I tried to stand up and walk. I fell down. I fell down and I'm crawling up the wall to try to get up again. You think she helped me?
Nope.
No.
You a convict at this point to her.
And finally, at last, man, this white nurse put me back into the wheelchair, you know? So they left me alone for a few days, you know? And I started doing exercise, you know, stretching my legs and stuff like that from the bed. And after about two or 3 days of doing that, I started walking. I was walking with a limp. They wouldn't give me a crutch or nothing, you know? And so after I think I was in the hospital for maybe 3 weeks. My brother Raymond came to see me. He told me that my apartment, because I had an apartment now, I had a roommate, this guy named Artis Farrington. Those cats broke into my apartment and beat him up, put him in the hospital. He was in the hospital, I'm not sure where, but yeah, they beat him up pretty bad, you know?
And robbed you.
And robbed me. They stole all my clothes and everything, clothes, shoes, everything, man, you know? Now, these were people that knew me that was in the neighborhood of where I was at.
And they knew the situation you was in.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So now, let's fast forward a little bit. Yeah, you're good. You can walk now. You ain't in a wheelchair. What happened as soon as they discharged you out the ICU?
They didn't discharge me. They sent me next door to DC jail.
And how much time you got?
Okay, at that time, they sent me to DC jail. I was assigned a lawyer. Now, I'm in jail, but I don't know anything about what's going to happen or anything like that. So they send me downtown. You know, I go to court. So when I go to court, you know, they appoint me a lawyer. And he was, you know, he said, what's your story? You know, tell me what happened, this, that, and other. I said, I got shot. He said, so you was a part of this robbery, right? I said, pretty much, you know. He said, so, you know, the best thing for you to do is plead guilty. I said, wait a minute, you know, not just like that. I said, no. I said, you know, I wanted to at least get out for a while. I said, try to get me some bail. you know? So he said, well, they're not going to give you bail. He said, you have no, where would you go if you get out on bail, you know? I said, well, I was living by myself before I got arrested. He said, see, you don't have any stable resident, stuff, nothing like that, you know? So me and him, we just clashed from the jump, you know? And he wasn't going to try to get me any kind of bail or anything, you know? So back in the DC jail, they got guys in there that will help you to write a writ of habeas corpus, you know? So I learned how to do all of that, you know? I started writing, and I would write, and I would send it into the courts once a week.
You was trying to get out.
I wanted to get out. I was there, and I'm a porpoise. I don't have a dime to my name.
Yeah.
You know? And finally, last, I sent in about, I had to at least send maybe 10, you know, kept sending those habeas corpus in.
Okay.
You know? I would get them, you know, because, see, you had free legal advice there in jail. So they showed me how to write it. Plus, they would, notarize it, you know? And I kept sending them in. Finally, last, I got a court date, and they brought me in. And they said, we're going to release you on your personal reconnaissance. I knew what that meant. I was going home.
So how long you was in jail before they released you?
I must have been in jail for about 4 months, 5 months almost.
Okay.
You know?
Now, one of the things that we usually didn't talk about with you, I know throughout this whole over a year process, is how was those 4 months? You know how jail could be a tough environment.
Yeah.
Things can happen. Mm-hmm. Break it down to me. Anything happened within those 4 months?
Well, I did get in a fight.
Tell me.
With the cellmate, you know?
And how did that turn out?
They ended up moving me around to the other side. Okay. Mm-hmm. I wasn't gonna have any peace with this guy. You know, he's trying to, you know, make me buy stuff for him because we, you know, have the canteen privilege.
Okay.
You know, so he told me, get me this. So first time I bought him something, you know, then he would tell me, well, buy me this. I'm buying you nothing, man. You know, I'm sorry, you know.
Yeah.
So after a while, man, he pushed me, you know, and tried to take my papers and gonna tear up my papers and stuff. And we was fighting and stuff. And one of the guys, because they used to have a guy to walk the mm-hmm. You know, you had 5 tiers of jail. So I was on number 3, and he walked by, you know, and he said, "It's a fight." So he told him what cell it was, and they opened the cell, and I came out. Then he came. He stayed in. I came out. You know. Next thing I know, they was telling me, they took me down, and I sit there at the desk, you know, sergeant's desk. And then he said, listen, we're going to move you around the other side, you know. The guy that I was in the cell with, he was a career criminal, you know. For everything that can happen in a person's life, he had been part of it, you know.
He done did it.
Life, you know, and he felt like a young boy like me, a young man like me, man, you know, he could just take advantage of me, you know.
He had nothing to lose. He was doing life.
Right. He was doing life. And tell you the truth, you know, they were supposed to put me in the cell with somebody that was equal to my age and stuff like that. You know, this guy had to be like in his 40s, you know. I was 18, 19. I was 19 years old, man.
Okay. Yeah. So now you out. You did a couple of months. You out.
Yeah.
Right. Where you go after this?
I went to live with my friend of mine, you know. I went to work at McDonald's, you know. It was pretty good, you know, for a minute, you know, but I'm still like, oh man, I'm not knowing what to do, basically, you know. And I would go see my sister Irma, and she said, no, you can't live with us no more. She done got married, my sister, you know. And I talked to my mother on the phone a few times, and she told me, you know, pray to God, you know, and, you know, just stay out of trouble. Don't get no more trouble while you're out here on bail, because you still got to go back to court. She was always reminding me of that, you know. Yeah. I gotta go back to court. You're gonna make it hard on yourself if you do anything wrong while you're out here on bail, you know. She said, at least they gave you bail, so that should be something, you know. So I said, okay, you know. So I was staying at my friend's house for a while, you know, and That's what I did until I got the call. I think I got the call, not the call, but the letter in something like August of that year. I had been out maybe 3 months, close to 3 months, you know, and I worked at McDonald's for a little bit, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, this is a lot, man.
Yeah, pretty much.
We telling it all today.
It's my life,
telling
man.
it all,
It's my
man.
life.
And your life, it only gets more and more extraordinary. We breaking it down in pieces and pieces and pieces. And I hope you are here. And if you're not here, I promise you, when that TV show come out, you going to replay this video because you're going to want to know every detail. You know, sometimes in books and shows, we can't give you every little detail. But today we're going to give you every little detail. I don't care if this podcast takes 4 hours today. We going to get to know the real Bobby Love. And at this point, I'm contemplating calling Miss Cheryl and say she need her own episode because her story is just as amazing. But let's get to it. Unfortunately, I know all the story. I'm trying to act like I don't throughout the podcast. But Bobby, you ain't stopped.
No.
You ain't stopped. So now you got a bullet in your butt cheek. You done been to jail twice.
Yes.
And your brain told you, let's keep going.
I didn't learn nothing.
So you didn't learn nothing. You out of jail now.
Yes.
Now, let's fast forward just a little bit. Just a little bit. You get back into trouble.
Yeah.
Explain that to me.
Well, I went to jail.
Start introducing those amazing men I know. Introduce the Jack Dans. Introduce Tangy. Come on. Let's get to it.
I went to jail for 13 months.
Okay. Yep.
Down at Lawton.
Lord.
So when I was sentenced, I pleaded guilty to robbery, armed robbery.
So you did 4 months, got out.
No.
I'm sorry. Backtrack.
I got out of the hospital.
Okay.
I went to jail. Then I got out on bail. I'm
Okay.
on bail. So then when they called me for my court case, I pleaded guilty. I pleaded guilty and I was given a undetermined amount of time in a youth center,
Okay.
which usually culminates with 13 months. It all depends on how well you do there.
Okay.
So I went there for the 13 months. I was released after the 13 months and I went to a halfway house.
I don't want to skip that 13 months because one of the things that we haven't really talked about throughout a lot of your interviews throughout the years, explain that 13 months. You know, me and you remember we was talking last night and I made a joke. I was like, listen, Bobby, I lost a lot of weight, but I need to lose more. I think I need to go to jail for a year to get in shape. And you said, John, don't call me saying something stupid like that. That would be the worst year of your life. You remember, right?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Yes, it was.
So 13 months.
Yeah.
Who tried to steal your cookies?
Oh man,
Talk to me.
I had this fight with this guy Chico. He stole my underwear.
Whoa,
And,
whoa, time out. You can't just go past that, Bobby. Hold on, did you wear the underwear?
Yes.
Hey,
yes.
Oh, it's jail.
Yes.
Hey, no judgment. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Right.
Chico, you a bad man. Okay. Chico, I hope you're doing well. God bless you, brother. So Chico stole your boxes that you already had.
Yeah.
You couldn't just let him steal your boxes.
Nope.
Yeah, you would have had a tough time. You would have had a tough 13 months of Chico went around.
Yes, I would have had a lot more tough times with the rest of them guys there once they get out that he stole them.
All right, so explain this story. What you do? Chico steal your boxes.
He came down the hall one night and I came at him with a pipe. You know, had this metal, pipe. It wasn't that heavy, but it was a pipe. And I had taken this from one of the racks that we hang our clothes on,
Okay.
And I was able to hit him a couple of times, man, upside the head, and, put him in the infirmary.
So you beat Chico bad with this pipe.
I tried to.
So I know the jail was not going to let you just get away with that. What
No.
was the result of you doing that?
Captain Stribbling put me in the hole.
Oh, the whole.
They put you in the hole right away. Then they give you a hearing, And I must have been in the hole, man, for almost 4 weeks.
And, a serious note, I know a lot of people talk about how tough that process is.
Yeah.
Being isolated does a lot to you mentally.
Yes.
Break that down to me.
Okay, they had just a little dog house. They had cells on both sides, and it's really dungy and dirty, And you do have a cart, but you have, you have something like this for your mattress, about that thick, and it's designed to make you, regret ever doing anything wrong to come back here again, And the time that I spent in there, they still give you breakfast, lunch, and dinner, But that's it. You have a shower. I think they give you a shower like every 3 or 4 days, So you want to go in there and take that shower and then say to you, now you got 10 minutes, and you want to stretch that out as long as you can because you're out of that cell,
Yeah.
And all you do is sleep, man, and just lay on that thing, you don't have nothing to read. You don't have anything to do, man, but just lay on that little bunk. And that's what I did for those almost 4 weeks.
Yeah, I know that must be a tough experience.
Yeah, that was tough. That's the first time I ever been to the hole in all the times I've been locked up for anything. First time I ever gone to the hole.
So besides Chico, any other crazy events happened in those 13
Yeah, I
months?
had a fight one time in the shower. Guy elbowed me.
In the shower?
No. See, when you fight, you take it to the shower. So
Okay.
the fight
So y'all
started-
you ain't had a soap in your hand and
No.
Okay, cool.
The fight started on the basketball court.
Okay.
He elbowed me straight up and down. Let's take it to the shower.
Okay.
So we went in the shower, man, and we threw blows and punches and everything like that. Both of us, I would say, I got just as much of him as he got of me.
I like that. You being honest.
When I a lot of times back then I had hair, right? So I stopped doing anything to my hair. I had me a hat and I would pull it down over my head and stuff. And I put on I had some sunglasses,
I feel you.
I wore my sunglasses while my eye was healing and going down and stuff like that. It was red and, black and blue under here,
But you wasn't letting nobody stomp all over you.
Nope. You if you don't stop that, they will stomp on you.
Yeah.
You stop it immediately. You just go ahead and let's go. Let's get it on. That's the way it was.
So now, after your 13 months, you learn anything, Bobby?
No.
Okay. So we're gonna fast forward a little bit. When's the next time you get in trouble?
Oh, I go down south.
So now you're robbing in North Carolina.
Yeah.
Okay. Name the moment where it was like, this is it. No more. The government, the cops, they're not gonna keep giving me opportunities. Take me through that day.
Okay. I was I had a crew. You just mentioned my friend Ting and my partner Jack Dan.
Shout out to Ting. I ain't forget about you. I'm gonna call you soon, man.
So we went down to North Carolina, man, and one of my other friends, he died. His name was Cut. His name was Michael, and we used to call him Haircut, or Cut for short. And we went down there and we went into a credit union.
Okay.
And, there wasn't hardly anything in there, man. We took what was there. I don't even know how much it was. But we went out the back door. We came in the front door, which was on Elm Street. We went out the back door, and we were supposed to tie the people better than we did. But Cut ended up finding a sheet somewhere and ties one of the people with a sheet. By the time we looked around, I looked around as we were running to get on the car because the car was parked back there in that area. So going out the back door would, be good because, the car is right there. But we didn't tie the people as well as we should have. And I look back and the people are looking at us as we were running to get in the car.
So they untied themselves.
Yeah.
They already
And
called the authorities.
by the time we got to the next city, man, cops was following us. They followed us, and then this cop just pulled in front of us to cut us off, And they came with guns drawn. All right, y'all under arrest, all of you. Put your hands on the wheel. Jack Dan was sitting in front. Put your hands on the dashboard, and they told Cut and Ting to put their hands on the back seat.
And at this point, you're a grown man, right?
Yeah, I'm 21.
Now, you already got a lengthy rap street.
Yeah.
What they sentenced you to?
They sentenced me to 25 to 30 years.
Whew. That was it.
Yep, that was it, man.
So, where did you go? What prison did you go to?
They sent me to Central Prison.
Central Prison.
Raleigh, North Carolina.
Raleigh, North Carolina. How was it?
Terrible.
Let's talk about it.
Again, I didn't have as many fights. It was a lot better controlled in Central because, you go through the diagnostics and other stuff like that, So my diagnostics gave me or told me that I'm going to stay here to do my sentence, So they assigned my job to the hospital, okay? Jack Dance went to a road camp. Cut and Ting went to the youth place over there in another area, And both of them were supposed to enroll in college, Ting did. Cut got out. He got out in about 2 years, And he came back to D.C. and from what I understand, he got married, had some children and stuff like that. But he died of cirrhosis of the liver. He just didn't believe he was sick, And he would eventually, pass. He's still a young man.
So, explain a little bit. I know some things. I'm going to throw it out there to get you on the right track. Frankie Baby. Frankie Baby.
That came much later, John, when I was at the honor grade camp.
Okay, explain it to us. So what's honor grade?
Okay.
And how many years are you in jail before that?
Okay, I did 6 years. If you add up all the time that I've been in jail, it's been a total of 10 years. Not straight 10 years, but 10 years if you, from Morrison Training School to the youth center in Washington, D.C. to Central Prison. It's a total of 10 years.
Okay. So why did you only do 10 years? You had a 25-year sentence. Why you only did 6? I
escaped.
Hold on. What? You did what?
John, I worked my butt off. I did everything they asked me to do.
Yep.
I joined everything I could join. The JCs was a religious group. They came in there and they talked to you and you prayed with them and they prayed for us. Christmas, they give us a little $5, $10, something like that, a bag of oranges and some candies and stuff like that, And they try to make it as good as possible for the different inmates and stuff like that. And you kind of get to know these guys, they come in there every week, they have church people coming in and, to make it, you're doing your time, man, a little as easy as possible. I put it like that. We had a gym we used to go to. We had a pool table. We could shoot pool and stuff like that, So that was a little bit of a comfort, We had, we had our own TV because where we were housed, the ones that work in the hospital, we were housed in a separate area from everybody else, And our cell stayed open till 11 o'clock at night. So your cell is open like early in the morning. You go to breakfast, Yeah. If you work in the daytime, you go to work or you just hang around until you go to work at 3 o'clock, Or you go up in the gym and hang out in the gym, I worked overnight, so I used to sleep. I would tell them to lock me in when I come from work. I would eat breakfast before I come back to my cell. Then I'd tell them to lock me in. So I don't have to go to work until 11 o'clock at night, So that's how I got along.
So, Frankie Baby, you was a DJ.
Yes.
You was on honor grade, which means that you were a good inmate,
yes.
right?
Yes, I was.
So it seemed like those first 6 years you was fitting in. I'm not gonna say it was great. No jail is great, right? But you were fitting in.
Yes.
What was the turning point that made you escape? And you have to tell the audience how you escape in that process.
All right. It started when I was working at the administrative office.
Okay.
This guard, I worked for a civilian.
Okay.
So I used to vacuum the rugs and stuff like that in the lobby, and I would take papers sometime over there across the street because they had a lot of secretaries work over there. We didn't have newspapers one day. So I tell my boss, the civilian, I said, the newspaper wasn't there. So he said to me, don't bother the newspapers anymore. I said, okay. Next day, the newspapers was there. So the guard tells me, take 10 newspapers like you normally do and take them up to your boss. I said, well, he told me not to bother the newspapers. Went to work. I'm working, did what I was supposed to do, you know, took a few papers over there and, you know, vacuumed the rugs and stuff like that. When I got back to the camp, they said, you got a write-up. I said, write-up for what? Disobeying a direct order. I went and I said, can I see my boss? So I told him, I said, you know, you told me not to bother those newspapers, and that's what I told the guard. He said, no, you have to do what he tell you to do.
So you're in a lose-lose situation.
Right. You know?
Does this knock you off honor grade?
No, it didn't knock me off honor grade, but I lost that job.
Wow.
Which was a good job.
So,
you know?
So now you have to transition into a different job.
Right. They put me in the kitchen.
Gotcha.
Okay?
Okay.
So working in the kitchen, I'm loving this, man, you know. On Sundays, we fry chicken.
So that's where Bobby Love, the chef, goes. So we're going to get into that. We're going to get into Bobby Love, the chef. All right? Let's do it.
Love's Kitchen. Well, what can I say about it? You know how hard it is to make a good piece of chicken or a good piece of fish? You gotta get that oil to that right temperature and be able to take that piece of material that's just flour, just sitting there, and put it inside there and watch it transition from that white, limp piece of nothing into a golden, crusty, brown, flaky piece of fish that just makes you go, oh! That's what I'm talking about. There's nothing more to be said. A good piece of fish, a good piece of chicken. Well, the only thing I can say is just go to Love's Kitchen.
We are back. We are back. Bobby, you hydrated?
Yes, I'm feeling great.
You're feeling great. My drink is refilled. We are back. So now we got to get into it. Love Kitchen. Miss Rakia Clark, HarperCollins, we need a cookbook. Because if you have Taste Bobby fish, if you have Taste Bobby chicken, you know this man can throw down. So Bobby, we left off with you being targeted. We're going to use the term targeted by a guard.
Yes.
Now you're no longer working in the office and you are working in the kitchen. But they can't knock Bobby Love. Bobby Love loved to cook. And I know the chef in the kitchen got all the juice in jail, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about it. Now you're in the kitchen.
So I'm in the kitchen and I was doing good. You know, Sundays we fry chicken. The weekdays, you know, we have fried eggs. You know, I was taught how to crack 2 eggs in, you know, my hands. You know, I would do a pan of bacon, man, you know, make a great breakfast, man. You know, we have pancakes, man, you know. And I was going good, you know, until one day, one of the captains, you know, one of the black captains, you know, he get the, you know, I guess my impression of him was he didn't like the things that we inmates do, you know. So I'm getting ready for work. They used to wake us up around 5:30, 5 o'clock to be in the kitchen for 6 o'clock. So this particular morning, I'm getting ready to come down to the kitchen. Somebody, not me, hollered, "Punk ass Cozart." As he was walking across the yard.
All right, it's like this happened 40 years ago, right?
Yeah.
So to this day, you ain't do it.
No, I didn't do it.
You ain't talk to Cozart like that.
No, I don't do
so
stuff
you're innocent,
like that, man. Yeah.
Okay.
So somebody had shouted that to him as he was walking across the yard going to the kitchen. So when I get downstairs to the kitchen, you know, start doing breakfast and everything, you know, getting the eggs and stuff like that I was going to, you know, make for breakfast. He said something to me and I responded. I can't remember exactly what it was, but this is his opinion that, oh yeah, you the one. I didn't know what he was talking about. After breakfast, the lieutenant came to me and said, "Mr. Cozart wrote you up." I said, "For what?" So then they explained it to me that you shouted "punk ass Cozart" as he was walking across the yard going to the kitchen. I said, "I didn't do that." "Well, Mr. Cozart, I believe you did it." I said, I didn't do that. So
that's how the system works.
Yeah.
You don't need no proof.
Nope.
You don't need nothing.
Nope.
I think you did it. That's the end.
Mm-hmm.
So now at this moment, are you off honor grade now?
No, I'm not off honor grade, but I'm changed another change in my job.
Now, what job are you doing now?
Getting ready to go to the road.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now, what month is this? Is it winter? Summer?
This is late September, maybe early October.
So you're getting into wintertime.
Yeah.
And if you know Bobby Love, Bobby don't like the cold. You go into Bobby house, it's a sauna. You lose 10 pounds instantly.
So,
Going to that mansion he got in Georgia. Yes, I said it. Mansion. Right? It's hot.
Yes.
I don't even work out when I go to Bobby house. I just sweat. And then just sweat.
Yeah.
So now you're on the road.
Yes.
You're not happy.
No, I'm not. Not at all.
Okay. So now these are 2 write-ups for something you didn't do.
Right.
Okay.
So I go to my counselor first because I was also slated to start going to this micro program in Durham, which is going to further help me in my, efforts to make parole or, get released and stuff like that, And all of that was shut down because of this next write-up, So my counselor, which was a lady, she told me, she said, give it a few months and we'll bring you back. She said, it might take a little bit longer, She said, well, just keep you cool and don't get into any more trouble, I said, okay. So, like you said, it was getting cold. And I think come October, man, we had some cold days. So they issued me a coat, a coat to wear over my, my clothes that I wear out there in the road, So I took the coat and I put it in a bag. And this was a test run for what my plans were going to be later on.
Oh, so before we get to that, you're already coming up with plans? You're already thinking about escaping?
About getting out of here, yeah.
What not put in your brain that I need to leave here?
What got put in my brain?
Yeah, like, so what made you say that I need to start planning
that
to escape?
cold weather, working out there on that road. People throwing milkshakes and hamburger wrappers, and I'm
throwing it. They throwing it at you physically,
well,
or you
they
just
dropped it real close to me. I put it like that.
So, will you think that was racially motivated? Or who was doing that to you?
Well, those kids were white. I'm not.
And so they'll see y'all on the road cleaning. They'll just throw things at you.
They see me. They saw me.
And this is what year is this in North Carolina?
In 1977.
Okay. All right. So you're like, I'm not dealing with that.
I'm not going to deal with that in terms of, I can't do nothing with them.
Yeah, you can.
They riding past me and stuff like that, And then there was times I was out there with a sling blade, the thing that has the long hook, we cutting weeds, these tall weeds grow up around these different areas, so we got to get all that done, you know.
And you're doing all of that in the winter. So it's cold. Yes. You're on the highway. People driving past, throwing things at you. We're not going to say why they're throwing things at you, but you're an inmate. It's obvious, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you thinking, I'm out of here. That's it.
My plans was right then and there. My thoughts were, man, I'm going to try to get out of here.
Okay. Now take us through that.
Okay. I think the last time I worked was with the sling blade. And I took the coat and I put a coat in the bag. So that was my test run to see if they would stop me going in and out with the bag to see what was in the bag. And nobody stopped me. Nobody said, Miller, what's in that bag? Or open that bag. Nothing, So as it got colder, we got into November. I celebrated my birthday, November 6th. November the 8th is my nephew's birthday. That was a Monday. I watched the football game, Monday Night Football that night.
Who's playing?
The coach was playing somebody.
Okay.
They had this quarterback named Burt Jones.
I don't know who Burt Jones is. I'm only 27. But shout out to Burt Jones, baby.
Burt Jones. And, I like the coach, And they had, this was the last few years for Lenny Moore. Lenny Moore was a running back.
I don't know who that is either, Bobby.
He was fancy, man. He would run, man, and he'd get them shake and bakes and stuff like that. But anyway, that night they beat whoever they played. I can't remember. And I was going to leave the next day, you know. And what I did was I emptied my locker, made sure there was nothing left in my locker for them to say, well, we'll call this person or we'll go this, you know, no addresses or nothing like that. I got rid of all my mail and everything. And I put my personal coat in the bag, the same bag. And when they called my name, I had on the prison clothes over top of my street clothes. I had a pair of jeans, I had a shirt and stuff like that. You know, I had my shirt buttoned all the way up to the top so they couldn't see none of the clothes that I had under there.
And nobody double checked you?
No.
So
and
now
the same guard that guard that was on the gate, he was the same guard that when I came in and out before with the bag, with the prison coat in there, he never stopped me. So I think his, you know, determination was, hey, he just got his own coat. I mean, he just got the prison coat in there, so I don't need to check it, you know.
Okay, so now you get on the bus, ready to go to your route.
Yes.
What happens?
We had this long street that we had to come up. Not a whole lot of traffic on that street. When you make the turn to get into the other traffic, there's maybe a car or two, you know. So as we went up the long street and we turned to get into other traffic, I opened the back door and I jumped off the bus. Coat in hand, bag, ran into the woods. Once I ran into the woods, I took the clothes off, my prison clothes off, just threw them down, you know. I had a pair of little slippers, you know. They were like a little beige-looking slipper, you know. I took the shoes off, which was the prison shoes off, because all of that was in the bag with the coat, the shoes and the coat. And I put that stuff on as fast as I could, came out on the other side and went that way as the bus went that way.
So they didn't stop the bus?
John, if they stopped the bus, you got about 30 other guys in that bus. What do you think they're going to do? They're
going to run too.
Exactly.
So there's only one guard on that bus?
One guard.
I guarantee you they changed it after that day.
Oh, yes, it's changed now.
So I got a very important question for you, Bobby. You ready?
Yeah.
What is your 40 time? How fast can you run the 40? I'm pretty sure you was running a 4-1 that day. You was gone?
What I did.
And you had on slippers.
Yeah, I ran.
Was you singing spirituals while you was running?
No.
Wait in the water. You running through the woods and Raleigh, North Carolina?
I ran out of the woods and I came, you know, over here in this area. Okay. You got houses.
You know? Oh, but you changed though.
Yeah, I had changed.
Yeah, so you don't
regular clothes.
Okay, so you.
But I'm also thinking, I want to look like the people that's living in this area, but this is not people like me in this area. So I got to find the people in my area. So I kept going further over this way, street after street.
So what you mean by that? Let's just be honest. You're looking for a black neighborhood.
Of course.
Okay, because if you go into a white neighborhood, especially a segregated South in 1970s North Carolina, it'll be very obvious.
Oh yeah, I'll be sticking out like a
You'll be sticking out.
Yeah.
Okay. And they're like, why is he sweating so much?
Probably.
Okay. So you're hiding through, you're going through the woods. Miss Washington, Miss Spencer, write this down. That's how the TV show should start. Okay, so you're going through the woods and you're looking for a black neighborhood.
Yes.
Do you find that neighborhood, Bobby?
Yes, as I kept going over. And I kept going over.
So once you find that neighborhood, what do you do?
I asked one of the guys which way to the bus station. I want to go to the Raleigh bus station. Okay. He says, a long walk, man, but yeah, you keep going that way. Keep going that way. Just keep going that way.
Okay.
I said, okay. And that's what I did.
How long it took you to get there?
About almost 3 hours.
So you're just on foot this whole time?
Yeah.
Okay. Now you get to the bus station. What's your thoughts? What's your mental? What's going on?
I'm happy. But I'm feeling anxiety. I'm still looking around, still feeling nervous. And I see this old guy and he's looking at me and I'm looking at him. And I said, can you help me out?
Random. This is a random stranger.
Yeah, just a random stranger. Gave me $30. Then he said to me, I hope you're not in no trouble.
What's his name?
I don't know.
God bless you.
Yes.
Because we still have a lot to uncover. I don't know how long we into this. We probably hours into this, but it's whatever. We're going to keep going. But whoever that person is, you gave society a saint. So we got to clap for that person. We don't know your name, but random guy number one, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Let's clap for him. Let's clap for him. Because I know we've been talking about, and excuse me, I've been calling you Bobby throughout this whole time, but at this time, Bobby Love is not Bobby Love.
Right, I'm not Bobby Love.
He's Walter Miller, which is his government name that was given to him by his parents.
Right.
But we're about to get there. We're about to get to how you became Bobby Love, right?
Right.
So you get $30 from this stranger.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Gotta do it again. You gave us a good man. So he gives Walter Miller this money.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Now, what do you do with the money, Bobby?
I go, they got these big pillows where they have, play checkers and chess and stuff like that. So I go near them, but not all the way over there. I see this other brother, younger brother. So I said, can you go inside to buy me a bus ticket? He said, yeah.
Why you didn't do it yourself?
I was afraid to be seen in there on camera or anything of that nature to say that, yeah, he came through here and bought a ticket to New York City. Or,
okay. Hold on. Let's not go past that. Have you ever been to New York City in your life at this point?
Yeah.
So you have been to New York before?
Right.
So when you was coming up with your escape plan, you said New York is the place I want to go.
Oh, yes.
Why was that?
Because you can get lost in New York.
So you thought it would be harder for them to find you?
Unless I do something stupid.
Did you have family in New York?
No.
So you was just going to do a fresh start, no plan, no beginning. That was an accident. No plan, no beginning. You're going to New York.
Yes.
Well, matter of fact, that wasn't an accident. Let's clap for New York City. New York, baby. Okay, so now we in New York, right? Well, we're not in New York.
Right.
You bought the ticket in New York.
Yeah,
so now you get lucky twice.
I gave the guy $20.
And you tipped him?
And I told him, I said,
Hold on. You only had 30. You fresh.
No, I got some money that I had been saving too.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That $30 went with the other monies I had.
So when you was planning your escape, you was already saving money.
Oh, yeah.
You was thinking about that.
Yeah.
Now, how much money you had saved?
I had saved about $70 to $80.
So you got 80 plus 30, that's 110.
Yeah.
How much was your ticket?
The ticket was around, $14, $15.
Okay, let's subtract that. So now you got $96. You gave him 20, so now you got 76.
Yeah, I told him to keep the change.
So you starting a new life with $76.
But then I thought about this. I said, man, what am I thinking? This guy could go out the other side of the bus, one of them doors over there, and just keep walking with my $20.
That's true.
But the man was honest and came back.
That's God.
Yeah.
Because that's within a 5-hour time frame. 2 people that didn't know you,
Yes.
don't know what's going on,
Right.
lended you a hand.
Right.
So now you're about to get on this bus. You got the ticket, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you got $76, and you're about to start a whole new life in a place you have no family. Been there. How many times you been in New York before you go?
I guess about 3 times.
Okay,
I
so
had gone to Coney Island.
Okay.
I had gone to down the Jewish place and shop, Orchard Street.
Okay.
Matter of fact, we had done that twice, me and some friends.
Okay. So you're a little familiar with New York.
Yes.
Okay. You know how to take a train and stuff like that. Okay. But you got $76. So Walter Miller, you get on this bus. You nervous?
Yeah. The bus hadn't left, and I'm wanting this bus to, start moving. The bus driver finished letting everybody on. Then he closed the door. He walked out of the bus and closed the door, and he went somewhere. I guess he had to take the count or something like that, some paperwork somewhere else in the bus. I got in the bus and I, squished down in my seat like this right here, And this girl asked me my name.
And you can't tell her Walter Miller, right?
Oh, sorry, not here. She got on in Durham.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've been on the bus for a while before this woman gets on the bus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, the bus finally started to move. I was happy. And like I said, I squinched down in my seat. The next stop was going to Durham. So when we got to Durham, I think about 5 or 6 people got on. I was on the passenger side, and I was maybe 4 or 5 seats from the back, And when this girl gets on and she's checking me out more or less, Back then, John, I had I had my hair slicked down.
Okay.
I had a part in the middle of my head.
Let me fix that for you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You good?
Yeah.
You good? You good?
So
So you ain't had no Jerry curls? You wasn't one of the Jerry curls type of guy?
not yet.
Oh, okay. Let's wait. Let's hold that. Let's hold that. The grease coming down the neck. Sun hit it. Get a little dark. We gonna get there.
Man.
Okay. So no Jerry curls. Yeah, just slick back.
Yeah.
Called Cottonfoot / slick back. Okay.
I had waves. You know.
I still don't got waves. That's why I'm wearing a hat.
I used to brush my hair. See, in jail, we had those brushes, you know, you clean the bathrooms and stuff with, and we would get them new.
That sounds like a toothbrush.
It's not a toothbrush. it's like those brushes that you clean with, you know, and they had that soft kind of twine, and we would break them in half. And all you do is walk around brushing your hair, walk around brushing your hair, walk around. And that's what I did.
Who you was getting cute for, man? You in jail. You still had to keep it up?
I would see people, man, you know. And I was going out
You
on
corrupt
passes.
CO females.
I had passes. You know, I told you I went over to Shaw University.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that. So we don't want to go back too much, but when you're on honor grade, you get passes.
Yes.
He would go to Shaw University.
A sponsor.
Yep. And that's where he became Frankie Baby.
Yeah, Frankie Baby.
So when he had his passes, I
would do a radio show.
Yeah.
I would pre-tape it, and they would play it on Wednesday nights from 9 to 10.
For Shaw University.
From Shaw University, yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna put this out there. If you went to Shaw University in the 1970s and got an original Frankie Baby tape, I am willing to pay for it. Okay. Please subscribe and comment under this video at John Conyers Network. We are willing to pay for the original Frankie Baby tape. Again, if you went to Shaw University in the 1970s, Frankie Baby is now Bobby Love.
Yes.
All right, now let's go back. Okay, so you on the bus.
Yeah.
You already been driving for a while.
Yeah.
You slouch down. You get to Durham.
Yeah.
You're in Durham, and a female gets on the bus and she asks you, "Hey, sir, what is your name?"
No, she didn't say sir. She just said, "What's your name?"
Okay.
You know, and I'm like, "Oh, okay." I said Bobby.
So it was no Bobby Love. It was just Bobby at
It
this
was
point.
just Bobby.
Okay. Now where did love come from?
When I was got to New York, I guess it was like 2 days in, walking. I see a Social Security office. I walk in there and I apply for a Social Security card. Now I got to tell her Bobby, and Bobby Love.
Now, this would never happen in 2021. So you just randomly walked to Social Security office and said, "I'm Bobby Love," and she gave you a Social Security card?
No, I filled out the papers. And gave them back to her. And the address I listed was the last address I had in Washington, D.C. Okay. And the name was Bobby Love on the paper. When I gave her the paper, she looked at me and she said, "You don't live here in New York?" I said, "No." "You never had a Social Security job? A Social Security card? You're 27 years old. You never worked?" I said, "Here and there, not really a job, off the books, something like that, you know." She said, "Oh." She said, "Well, okay, I'm going to give you your Social Security card. I'm not going to send it to Washington, D.C. I'm going to give it to you now." I said, "Okay, thank you."
God again?
Just like that. Yes.
That's 3.
Yeah.
Hold on. We don't know who you are. If you watch this and you remember Frankie Baby / Cottonfoot / Bobby Love / Walter Miller, whatever his name is, coming into the Social Security office in Manhattan. Was it Manhattan?
Yeah, it was in Manhattan.
In Manhattan, you deserve a round of applause. Let's clap for her. Come on. We're going to clap for her. So now you randomly get a Social Security with Bobby Love.
Yeah.
You legit now.
Yes, I am.
Now, before we get there, I need to know what happened. You get off the bus. You fresh in New York with $76. What's the first thing you do?
I walk across the street and I buy some.
Tell it.
I buy some marijuana.
Okay.
This guy was standing there and he's trying to, proposition this chick. She looked like she could be a woman of the night.
Okay.
Real skimpy clothes on, short and a lot of breasts, reveal. She said to the guy, they were speaking Spanish, by the way. And the guy said to me, I heard him speak English, I heard him speak Spanish. So when I asked him about the marijuana, he said, no, speak English. I said, come on, man. I'm trying to, I'm gonna buy it, man. I got money for you. He said, okay, I'll sell you $5 worth. So he goes, he pulls out this plastic bag, and really I had nothing to put it in, but she provided me with a piece of paper. So he broke me off a chunk, it was all stuck together,
Okay.
So I put the stuff in that paper, gave him the $5 and walked up the street. Now, when I get to the corner up there now, 77, man, rock and roll and women out on the street and all that, back then. So I go in this place, it was a movie theater right on the corner.
Okay.
I go downstairs. I don't see no movie theater. I see all these women down there trying to make some money.
Okay. Keep talking.
I went in the bathroom and used the bathroom. I had bought some paper before I came in there. So now I'm getting ready to roll me a joint, but this girl is like, hey, you want to have some fun, da, 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 da. I said, sure, What is it going to cost me? She said, how much you got? I said, I got $5. Okay.
Okay, what you eat?
Huh?
What did you eat?
What did I eat?
Yeah.
At that time, I hadn't had anything to eat.
Okay.
But she took care of me down there.
Okay. Now, disclaimer. We being honest. Do not judge him. This is 27-year-old.
Right.
Now you're Bobby Love.
Yes.
Bobby Love. Different type of guy. Not the guy that we know today. But okay, that's what happened.
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
Now, eventually you got to eat. You haven't probably eaten a bunch of time.
No.
And so what's your first meal out of jail?
Okay. I come out.
Escaping jail.
I see about 2 or 3 of these hot dog vendors.
Oh, you get a toilet water dog.
And I'm not sure which one to go to, but I'm looking to see how clean these cats are, and where they pulling their hot dogs from and, all that kind of stuff.
Ain't no such thing as clean when you go to the hot dog stand, baby.
But sure enough, I said, give me a hot dog. So
okay,
I smoked a joint and I ate a hot dog.
Wow, what a first day.
Yes.
First day out of jail.
First day out of jail.
Now, we fast forward a little bit because I know you probably was for a couple of weeks. You was on trains, homeless, trying to figure things out. Yeah. But now you get the Social Security card.
Right.
What you do with that Social Security card?
Okay, I was down in the Bowery where they got a homeless shelter.
Okay. So
I go in the homeless shelter, and I'm standing around trying to talk to the lady, and it seemed like everybody in the place was trying to talk to the lady about one thing or another, But I don't know. I looked a little different from the rest, and she said, "Yeah, what you want? What you want?" I said, "Well, I'm looking for a job. Can y'all send people to jobs or wash dishes?" She said, "No, we don't have no jobs, So I said, "Okay, I asked her about getting me a room. How can I get a room? She said, "Where you from? Or where what you doing here? This, that, and other. Questioning me like that. And so I said, "Listen, I'm trying to find me somewhere to live. Somewhere, so I can sleep. She said, "Well, I can provide you with a voucher. And got a list of hotels, and you can go to one of these hotels." I don't think that I went the first night, First night I walked around quite a bit, and I ended up in the subway, but I don't think I can't remember getting on the subway at that time. But I just walked around a lot, I walked up there to that park behind the library, I looked in there, and I'm like, oh, no, I don't want to go in there. Somebody might try to jack me or something like that, because a lot of guys walking around, looking in worse shape than I was.
I got you.
So I said, no, I'm not going in there. So I just walked around, man. I might have sit somewhere, man, and tried to sleep for a minute, and it was just, next thing I know, man, it was light outside.
Now you're roaming the streets of Manhattan in the 1970s.
Yeah.
Nothing like Manhattan in 2021, right?
No, it's not.
Break it down to some of my younger listeners of how the city streets of Manhattan look in the 1970s. Just give me a little quick breakdown.
Oh, man, it was Manhattan, 42nd Street, man. It was nothing but sex, drugs, and anything else you wanted around then. You had the peep shows, and the peep shows would provide you with, you go in there and you could see all these girls, some of them making love to each other, putting on a show.
Whoa, cut, abort mission. Bobby Love, Walter Miller, Cottonfoot, Frankie Baby, whatever your name is, you gotta stop it.
Listeners, if you're still here, I know this has been a lot. We have been uncovering a lot. But I promise you, this content is worth it. You know, there's going to be a lot happening in Bobby Love life. So, you know, to get all the details here and now on the Professional Winner podcast is a blessing. And we thank you, Bobby, for tuning in and being patient with us today. So you're in Manhattan. We're going to skip some things. We're going to get to your first girlfriend before you meet the wonderful Cheryl Love, your wife. Let's get into your first girlfriend. There's a reason. There's a reason, audience, why we're talking about her. Give it to us, Bobby.
I met a lady through another lady when I used to go to the barber shop.
Hold on, we ain't gonna skip past that. How many ladies you know? Oh, never mind, Miss Cheryl. Cut the camera. No, I'm joking. Let's go. Okay, you met the lady. Okay.
So I met the lady, and actually I wanted to go to a show to see Rick James out in Nassau Coliseum. And I asked the lady that was in the barber shop if, you know, you had a friend. And she said, yeah, I have a nice lady I would like to introduce you to. So I said, thank you. And sure enough, the lady called me, and she was going to provide transportation while I, provide the tickets. And we went to the show. We had a good time and stuff like that. We did some dancing in the aisles and stuff like that. And it was fun night. You know, Rick James was, Rick James, at the time he was
Rick James.
Crazy and, And we came back to, she dropped me off at my house. I had an apartment on 128th Street at that time. And that's all it was, at that time, But I told her I would call you. I had her number. She had my number, So we called each other a few times. I went to see her at our house and stuff like that, met her father. Fast forward, we were sitting in her car one night, and she told me that she had looked me up on the computer. And
what
I'm
computer?
Like, excuse me? What are you talking about? She said she hadn't told me at the time what her career was and what she was doing. So she said, I'm a FBI agent. My whole insides, man, kind of froze. Hold on.
So your first girl, like real relationship,
yeah,
is an FBI agent,
yes,
and you are wanted.
Yes.
But she doesn't know your government.
No.
She don't know Walter Miller. She knows Bobby Love.
Bobby Love, right.
So she didn't find anything.
No. She said, I looked you up, and the only thing you had was a driver's license.
Okay. Was that your last time talking to her?
Yes.
You're a smart man.
Yes, it was.
Okay. And thank God for that. Because little time after that, you meet who?
I meet my wife, Cheryl.
Okay. Now explain that to us.
Okay. I started working out in Brooklyn at a hospital, nursing home combined. And at the time, Cheryl wasn't there. Cheryl was out on leave. So I would, I was enjoying myself. I was glad to have a job, and job that was paying, Social Security was being taken out and all those things that go with a job, because I had previously worked, here and there, this, that, and other. But I was liking this job, but the only thing I didn't like was it was in Brooklyn. And riding from Manhattan to Brooklyn on the train, hey, I had to get used to it. That's all I said, So anything I do, I try to go into it with my eyes open, And as I worked out there, it was a joyful and all right atmosphere, I liked the people that I was working with and stuff like that. Cheryl came back to work in 84 around January or February, something like that, So we immediately kind of started talking, I was friendly with everybody, I would talk, and ask people questions about themselves and stuff like that. So we started to talk a lot, and, we have the break between lunch and dinner, where we have maybe an hour or so we can sit down and relax and, get something to eat. So sometimes Cheryl would sit at the table with us, and sometimes she would sit at the table with other ladies, And at one point, we talked a lot. I walked her home and stuff like that, and we talked some more. And then I asked her out. She said no.
She said no to Bobby Love.
The first time I asked her out, she said no. Her feeling was she didn't want to be involved with somebody that she worked with.
Understand.
Okay. And I said, okay, I can get it, But she came back a couple of days later and said, you still want to take me out?
Ooh, wait.
And now I'm like, yeah.
So you told her, stop frying on me. you know what this is about.
So
hold on, did you have to verify that she wasn't an FBI agent?
Oh no.
Okay. Had to ask her for a fingerprint. Say I can't do this again.
You know what was one of the attractive things about Cheryl also was that she went to church and her father. She was tight with her father. She just had all good qualities. She wasn't like man. I had been going to clubs since 77 to 83, 84 when I met Cheryl. All I did was go to the clubs, and I met quite a few girls in the clubs and stuff like that, Leviticus, Justine's, Second Avenue and, Pippin's, those kind of places, But now, I'm meeting Cheryl now. She had gone to dance clubs, but she wasn't like a dance club person every weekend.
Gotcha.
Know? And that was very interesting to me about how she lived and her family and stuff like that. So I think after a couple of times of going out, I came over and I went to church. I kind of surprised her and I came over and I went to church with them, So I saw her at their church and stuff like that. And at that time, the church was, it was bustling, it was nice church, out there in Coney Island, so I liked all of that, and as time would go on, me and Cheryl got tighter and tighter. She came to my house and stuff like that, stayed overnight. We went to a strip club one night, me and Cheryl and some of her girlfriends and stuff like that. We had a good time and stuff, And this girl danced in front of me, and Cheryl talking about, why don't you move? Why don't you move so she can stop dancing in front of you?
Yeah, you better move. Yeah.
Yeah, we enjoyed the night,
I remember, I remember in New Orleans, me and Nicolette, my wife, went to a strip club. I was so bad.
Yeah.
My wife was just throwing money at everybody. I'm like, that ain't it, babe. What are you doing? She's like, oh, I see stretch marks. She must need it. I'm like, no, that's not how it works. but that's interesting, man. See, hey, when you're going to be married for a long time and you love your spouse, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You got to find ways to still enjoy your life, still have your youth together.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why you guys have been married for 30 plus years.
Yes. I enjoy Cheryl, There's times, when Cheryl she's emotional,
Yeah, she cursed me out a couple times. Well, not curse. She don't curse. She yelled at me a couple times.
She don't curse, but she is emotional,
But she's an amazing person.
Yes.
Amazing person.
About her,
Yeah.
And so
tell that story. I know you always talk about, I always ask you, about marriage advice and things like that. You always talk about where, I think she found the wallet and she walks up.
She found stuff on the street. Cheryl would go and try to find the person that it belonged to. She took some stuff from a grocery store that wasn't ours. And we walked home and when we started putting it away, she said, we didn't buy this. I said, Cheryl, we can use it though. She took that stuff back to the store.
Now, and I'm going to make a comment, and this is for a lot of young men out there. You did a lot of things, right? A lot of things that I know you're not proud of. We talk about these things off camera all the time.
Right.
And when you first got to New York, you did a lot of things that you're probably not proud of. But you changed. Yes. And when I look at your story and I dissected your story, when I try to pitch your story and I try to make something out of this story, I start to realize a common trend. And that trend was a lot of things happen in your life once you met Cheryl.
Yes.
You are a deacon now.
Right.
You preached to me about my faith and getting strong. You carry the word. We have interviews and talk about tons of money on the line sometimes. If it's Bible study, Bobby ain't going to that interview. Right? Mm-hmm. And do you give Cheryl a lot of credit for that?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
At one time, I was in and out of the church. I wasn't going on a regular basis, But as time went on, there was one of the first ministers was Minister Anderson. He was a nice man, and I got to know him a little bit. He was also the man that married me and Cheryl, And then, it had some breakdowns at the church, and that kind of stuff. For a minute, I told Cheryl, I don't want to be involved with that, you know. I wouldn't go for a while, you know. And they were going through a lot of stuff, you know, had a lot of, I guess you would say, fights, you know, not fist fights, but in the court fights, you know. And Bishop that's there at the church now, he came out on top, you know. So then I started coming back. Seemed like to me things started to kind of stabilize, you know. So when I started coming back, you know, I got to know people and stuff like that, you know. And when, you know, unfortunately that I got arrested in 2015, you know, and Cheryl was so embarrassed.
We're going to get to that. Let's hold off on that. We're going to get to that. That's a very important moment. Yeah. But again, side note, you know, like I said, there's a common trend about you. Like I got married young. Mm-hmm. But a lot of my growth and who I am, I think has to do with the home. Okay. It has to do with stability and having that strong partner. And if you want to be successful in this world, you want to do things, as you can see with Bobby's redemption, with Bobby's story, it took Cheryl Love, it took that household, and it took a woman, a strong partner to help you put you in certain positions. Yes. So we got to clap for all the strong women out there, all the powerful women that are helping their men grow, that are not giving up on their women. I mean, on giving up on their men. And hey, women, if you love women, that's fine with us too. Let's clap for you. Now, bring it back. We started off however many hours ago with Brandon Stanton being in your living room. Right. So, you're interviewing. Right. You're telling your story to Brandon. Right. What's going through your head. And now, listeners, you understand why Mr. Brandon Stanton, the owner, founder of Humans of New York, the amazing human being and philanthropist he is, was interested in your story. Yeah. How was that moment talking to Brandon?
Well, in the beginning, you know, I was, I don't know, I guess I'm a skeptic.
Oh, understood.
But, you know, I said it's not costing me anything, you know. And then as you told me about Humans of New York and some of his past stories, you know, it became more exciting and thinking about it. And, you know, I was ready to tell everything that I knew, you know, that he could put on there concerning, you know, my life and how I had lived and done what I've done, you know. And it was amazing that, you know, to him that my wife knew nothing about this.
Yeah. You know? So now let's talk a little bit more about that day. 2015, 2016?
2015.
2015. So one of the things that we didn't talk to you about is that when Bobby met Cheryl Love, she had no idea of his past. No. You and Cheryl end up having 4 amazing kids together. Right. You lived this beautiful life. You met her in 1984. Yes. So you do the math. Almost 29 years together before the FBI becomes knocking. And Bobby, we're not going to talk about why we think Bobby got caught. We're not going to suspect why, and we have our own theories. And if you read the book, if you tune into the TV show that is being produced, you're going to learn more about why we think Bobby got caught. But it was a knock at the door. So Bobby, explain us that story about how Miss Cheryl Love, after 29 years of you not telling her about your past and you being wanted from escaping prison, tell us that day.
Well, came a hard knock at the door. And I said, no, this is 2A. I said, you must be looking for 2B. The guy said, no, I'm looking for 2A. And Cheryl also heard the knock and she asked, who is it, you know? And as she walked to go to the door to open it, boom, everything just explodes. FBI, New York City detectives, and some other New York City police. They had on the jackets. So they rushed to me. A couple of them walked to the back. Cheryl said, my kids are back there, they sleep. Are there any guns in the house? I said, no, I don't have any guns, man. So all of them put their guns away and they asked me my name. I said, my name is Bobby Love. They said, no, your real name, your given name. I said Walter Curtis Miller. And I said it low. Cheryl didn't hear it. But now Cheryl is understanding and see that they're looking for me. And her feeling was, Bobby, why are they here? What are they looking for? What's going on, you know? And the guy said, stand back. You don't know this man. And that made her even more angry that this whole thing was happening, you know? She still tried to get over there to me, and they wouldn't let her, you know. And I'm laying down I'm standing up now, sitting on the side of the bed, and they like this around me, like an oval. And they said, we're going to arrest you for your escape of 1977 from a North Carolina prison. And I'm just hearing what they're saying, you know, and I'm not really commenting, you know. And then Cheryl said that she was, that I was a diabetic and I needed to take my medication and I needed to eat some food and all this stuff like that.
She gave you that cookie.
So
gave him some cookies. You ain't taking my husband without him eating some cookies at 6 a.m.
But they said that they wouldn't let me take my medication here. They said, we'll take him to Bellevue and we'll get his medication for him. And plus we'll send it to Rikers Island where he's going to go and end up. So she said, okay, well, here is some cookies for him so he won't get hypoglycemic, you know, once I take my medication on an empty stomach, you know. So sure enough, Cheryl was trying to, here, eat this cookie. Here, he needs his coat. He needs this. He needs that, you know. So Cheryl was getting the things and stuff like that I needed. And I would end up, you know, getting in the car and going downtown with the cops and everything like that, you know. I talked to Justin. I talked to Jordan. They allowed me to come in and talk to them. I hugged both of them, you know. They were. And
just to, I'm sorry to cut you off. For the people that don't know, because we haven't introduced them, Justin and Jordan is Bobby's twin sons.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, Jordan had already gone to school, so it was just Jessica and Justin. Okay. So I stepped into the next. They let me step into the next room, and they let me hug Justin. And the cop told me right then and there, he said, "Your father's not a bad man." He said, "But don't let this, meaning the arrest, deter you from doing what you have been doing in terms of going to school and doing the right things in your life."
And Bobby, I got a question for you. In those 30 years, when you escaped and landed in New York, did you commit any of the crimes?
No, I didn't.
Clean slate?
Yes.
Would you say that you rehabilitated yourself?
Of course. I made a commitment to not doing any crime, any type of crime. And if there was anything going on around me, if I was here or there, whatever, I was out of there.
So you're deacon of the church?
Yes.
Football coach?
Yes.
Baseball coach?
Yes.
Working 2 jobs?
Yes.
Taking care of 4 kids?
Yes.
Man of your household?
Yes.
Taking your kids to Disney?
Oh, yeah.
Family trips?
Yeah.
Still helping your family, sneaking in North Carolina when you can?
Yes.
All of that in 29 years.
In 15 years, man, I hadn't talked to my sister.
15 years.
15 years, yeah.
How did you feel about that?
Well, I just felt that if I would have talked to her at that time, in the beginning, I felt like they might try to, tap her phone or something like that.
Wiretap it, yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought about all those kind of things that could happen. I used to watch those shows, man.
You was watching ID?
I watched ID.
I watched. You was watching ID like, they gonna get me. What did I do it?
But they had the other show with John Waltz.
Hold on. Speaking of ID, we seen an episode that looked very similar to the Bobby story.
Oh yeah.
Don't make me call y'all. y'all ain't clear that with me now. We hungry. You better send a check. Yeah, we know they paying attention.
But they had John Waltz on Channel 5.
Yeah.
And he would look for people, and he would go back through the case files. He would put people, on TV that had escaped. Some of them had committed crimes, And I'm watching this from time to time, and I'm like, boy, I hope they don't come around and
I remember my mom used to watch America's Most Wanted all the time.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, John Walsh. Yeah. Thank God they didn't put you up there because they would have found you in 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
You go on that show.
I wasn't hiding, man.
Walsh, I know that's the crazy part.
Yeah.
Now, when you did get arrested and they extradited you back to North Carolina, what was your thoughts? Now, you was a man of God at this time.
Oh, yeah.
What was your thoughts throughout that? Let me just tell the audience, he spent 12 months in jail before he was put on parole and you won the case.
Right.
Because even the justice system understood that after 30 years, you rehabilitated yourself.
Right.
But what was your thoughts going through that process? Did you really think you was going to get parole? Or you thought this was the end, you was going to die in jail?
Oh, die in jail? No, I never thought I was going to die in jail.
Okay.
I had some health battles.
Mm-hmm. Speak on it. Let's be open and honest. Speak on it. What was the health battles?
Okay, I had a mass on my lungs.
Okay.
And I prayed, and I prayed, and I prayed. It wasn't until I came home that I had a bout with what you call them things, stones, that they took an x-ray and they said, you have the mass on your lungs.
Was that mass cancerous?
It never got to that point to know if it was anything because it disappeared.
That's God.
That was God.
Any other health battles that you want to speak on?
I had cancer for 2 years, prostate cancer.
Wow.
And I prayed, and I prayed, and I prayed. I told my bishop that I had cancer, and I would come to his office sometime, and we would pray, And I did 2 years. I had an MRI at Sloan Kettering. I had an MRI at this doctor over here in Bay Ridge, and then I had another MRI. I had 3 MRIs. And the last doctor that I still got now is Dr. Katz. I had an MRI this past September.
Mm-hmm.
And when I had that MRI, and he himself called me, because usually one of the girls would call me and they say, well, it's still there, whatever. He called me himself this time. He said, I got good news for you. No more cancer. I didn't have any surgery.
So sorry, I can't cut you off. I don't want to cut you off, but we got to clap for that.
Thank you.
So not only you captured, you have to explain to your wife who you are.
Yes.
And shout out to the wonderful Miss Cheryl Love because she's still by your side.
Yes, she is.
Your kids still by your side.
Yes, they are.
Your family's still by your side.
Yes.
You was fighting cancer.
Yes.
Mass on your lungs.
Yes.
And now you overcome it and you sit in this chair healthy
Yes.
and happy.
Yes, I am.
Now, we got to end it with some good stuff. After all of that, I hope you realize why there's going to be a TV show. I hope you realize why we have a book sitting there and that in those 300 pages, even with this 2 hours, we didn't cover everything. It's impossible. We need probably another 3 hours to cover everything. So instead of us just talking, we're going to give it to you in a TV show. Thank you to our partners at FX.
Okay.
Thank you to Kerry Washington.
All right.
Thank you to Octavia Spencer. Samuel Jackson should play Bobby. Not confirmed. We're just going to say that. And I want to talk a little bit before we end today about the process. So after you met me, we talked about that.
Yes.
And after the Humans of New York, over 4 million likes. People Magazine, Oprah Magazine, overnight. We won't say overnight because after you just understand from 1970, this was 30 years in the making.
Yes.
But once you met me and we got things rolling, it felt like it happened overnight.
Yes.
Talk to us about that process of talking to Kerry Washington, Gabrielle Union, Antonio Fuqua, Jason Bateman, Netflix, Disney. Do I need to keep going? Remember those phone calls?
Yes, I do. Yes,
I'm in Belize and I'm in the jungle and I'm trying to find Wi-Fi because because Bobby's trying to text me and say, I'm about to talk to Morgan Freeman. Jonathan, what do I do? And yes, if you're asking us, Morgan Freeman does really sound like that. Yeah. So Bobby, explain to us this process and how God has blessed all of us.
Yeah.
And how was it talking to those type of people and some of your idols?
Oh man, it was so exciting to talk to all of them. And you forgot Ron Howard.
Oh,
the man took the time to talk to me from Paris.
Yeah.
He was going through the airport.
And Mr. Howard was, I know that was one of your He was near and dear to your heart.
Right,
The Andy
right.
Griffin Show, right?
Andy Griffin Show, Opie.
Opie. So Bobby kept saying, John, I love all these people, but I need to talk to Ron Howard. So when I got that email, I almost cried, man. I said, Bobby is going to be so excited. And he was amazing.
Yes, he was.
He was patient with us.
And the only thing he said, he offered what he could do, but he couldn't do it now.
Yeah.
And
unfortunately, we would have loved to work with him.
Yeah.
Still would love to work with him in a different capacity.
Yeah.
But, Miss Washington, Disney, they were aggressive. They wanted this.
That's right.
And we definitely feel like we have the best partners, and we're excited for this process.
Yes, we are.
But elaborate more. How was it talking to Morgan Freeman?
Well, Morgan Freeman kind of gave me a he talked the way the guys on the street kind of talk.
Yeah.
So I felt that he said, I got to talk to him this way.
Yeah.
So he just told me, listen, I would do this and I would do that, and he said, you should come to me, He said, I can do what he said he could do. And he said, but I want to ask you a couple of questions,
I remember that one question you didn't want to answer. I remember it vividly.
How you got caught,
Yeah.
He said, that would be the big story, how you got caught. And I just listened.
And how Bobby got caught, while we think we got caught, and we're 95% sure that's why he got caught. It hits home, and it's not my place to speak on it. And
Right.
I don't even need you to explain it today to the fans, because we can't give them everything.
Yeah, okay.
So if you're interested in this, if you're enjoying this, maybe we'll do a part 2, which will be on Patreon. Boom! Gotcha. You thought you was going to get it for free? Nah, I can't give you everything for free. Join the Patreon. Patreon.com/JCN. But listen, Bobby, today was great.
Thank you.
You are amazing. We have an interview at 7:00. Our day is just getting started. So, guys, thank you. We are excited. This is episode 1 of the Professional Winner podcast. We will be giving you content every day of the week. We are not stopping. If you on YouTube, if you on Facebook, if you on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, expect us, SoundCloud, expect something from us every Monday through Friday. If you want something 24/7, you can subscribe to our Patreon. You can subscribe to our community. Look at the thumbnail on YouTube. The number is there. Thank you so much. Thank you to our awesome guest, Bobby. Crypto Goat is coming. You can purchase some of our NFTs at OpenSea, at Rarible. Follow Crypto Goat on Twitter. Bobby, if you want to see Bobby cook, if you want to get a menu, if you want to taste some of that fried chicken, you probably won't taste it, but we can give you the recipe on Patreon. Stop playing with us. We are here to stay. We ain't going nowhere. And if you don't know who Bobby Love is, if you don't know who Jonathan Conyers is, you will know soon. Hey, shout out to Richard Nelson, my brother. I love you. This would not have happened if you didn't bring this story to me. Bobby loves you. Okay. Shout out to Miss Cheryl Love, because you were, I know you was nervous about this, some of Bobby's choices and putting your life out there on the open, but I thank you guys for trusting me. I always talk fast. Apologies. Thank you guys for trusting me in the story. Shout out to my partner, my main man, Gabriel Talaferro. Thank you for what you're doing. He is controlling all of this. He's the reason why we go. Thank everybody. I love you all. And I hope you have enjoyed the official first episode of the Professional Winner podcast. God bless. Good night.
And I just need for you for the dream, it's for the peak.